And welcome back to Scav Talk, everyone. Today's episode, we're going to be doing our usual Tarkov news recap for this week. We're a couple of days behind schedule. We'll have to keep with the cadence that we're going because we got some stuff planned in the future to talk about. But for now, Tarkov news, arena updates. They broke arena and then maybe fixed it. We'll see. Nikita leaks. Then we're going to talk about some miscellaneous topics. Arc Raiders producer speaks out on a podcast I happen to listen to, got some notes, excited to talk about that. And then NVIDIA data center in in space. My UK imitation tried to come out there that said data. Is that a UK is that a proper UK pronunciation?
No, we would say we'd say data center.
Data, yeah. Not
Data,
data.
data,
That's just
data.
a Southern American. Right? Data
Yeah.
center.
One of them newfangled.
How you been, Giga?
uh I think this is the first cast that we've done back in my house. So
Yeah.
even though I've been here for a little bit because of our schedule and whatever happened, it was for context, by the way, it was very unfortunate. We were going to do the cast, and then literally like an hour beforehand, your net went down, right? Like, so what happened
Yeah.
again? Someone like a construction company like cut through the fiber.
Apparently, that's what happened. It took them like an eternity to fix it. Like I went to bed, just because it's just like I can't. Like it actually took them like 12 plus hours to fix it. Like it was awful. It was gone the
That's
entire
crazy,
day.
honestly.
Yeah, that was like basically a layer of hell is having no internet. I mean, I have my phone, of course, but it's not quite the same.
Yeah, it's not quite the same. So we had to push it back a little bit, but that was the first day that I was actually here anyway. I think I've been here actually maybe I've been here for 1 or 2 days, but anyway, so I'm back and back in the the studio room. It's better. I'm now like I'm in the alcove. I'm under the stairs as opposed to the under the stairs being behind me. You know where that like shelf was with my old sign and all of that. That I'm like
Yeah.
where my like Giga sign was. There was like a
Mm-hmm.
big sort
Mm-hmm.
of rack. There was like a big rack of like sort of shelvy storage or whatever. I'm now like in there because I removed that. Um, so I'm like in that corner, and now we're
Oh.
facing the other way. So this is that behind me is what people. That's what I used to be looking at. So I used to
Oh,
sit like
really?
I used to sit here. This is where I used to sit. This facing the window,
Yeah.
and I'm now this way, looking towards where my GigaBeef sign used to be on the back.
Oh, that's so weird. I just assumed you were in a completely new part of the house, or something.
No, it's the same room.
Oh, that's
It's
so
the
weird.
same room. I know. So it's nice to be back. I'm still like sorting things. I sort of try to make it's difficult, right? When you put because I know I'm kind of lazy. As soon as it's in, it's going to take me an eternity to put it, in a different way. I couldn't quite get the camera to where I wanted it, so it's like in the middle now, which is no, I think it's okay. And then I've got like the 3070 just like it's whirring like right here. I'm like slightly worried I'm going to like accidentally pour a coffee into this PC because
Oh
it's like
no.
open next to me. But otherwise it's going well. It's going well. I'm happy to be back. So. It's yeah, it's good. It's good. And it's all good. Well, we've got lots of interesting stuff happening in the Tarkov world at the moment, especially mainly around arena and cosmetics and all of that. So we'll go through the patches that have come through. The first one is very easy because that was for the main. They updated both games, and most of the patch for the base game. And this when was this? This was on the 22nd. So yeah, this is a good like week ago. This one was pretty much putting the softcore event into PvE. That was pretty much it. Not much has happened to the base game. So this is all of the stuff that we've talked about before was like reduced inertia and but based on the carry weight, aim punch, lower overweight status, yada yada yada. So all of that stuff that we had previously in was now in PvE. It's quite funny actually having like some people coming into chat being like, "Oh, like I can't put ammo in my case all of a sudden because like PvE didn't get softcore. Oh, sorry, hardcore.
Right.
PvE didn't get hardcore, and so none of those changes had come to PvE. But so
Okay.
so PvE people for the first time are like not able to put meds and ammo in their secure container. They are able to put a CMS kit in their special slots, for example. So there's like some of these things that were specific to the hardcore wipe that hadn't gone to PvE, and now they're like catching up with it being softcore, but some of the restrictions are different. So it's
Yeah.
kind of funny actually seeing people coming in because they're like almost like two patches behind, suddenly
Yeah.
being like, oh, this is like really weird. Like this is really strange. Like, this is yeah. Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? It's like oh yeah, because of the hardcore thing. But then like that's been reverted. It's softcore, but now, but it's still some of it's still sort of hardcore. So it's a bit strange. But anyway, like so all that stuff has come to PvE. So if you want to, just mash about on PvE, then you can. And then it's funny actually because in the main like Tarkov technical updates, so it talks about arena here. So we'll talk about that like when we actually look at the other bit. And then they did what else did they do? Yeah, so they did a Discord integration. You can I'm not sure why you would do this at the moment, but if you link, you get like an in-game reward. So you can link your account in the Battlestate Games account center. You used to be able to link it to Twitch. Well, now you can link to Discord. You can link to Steam. You can link to lots of other places. So they're adding a lot more integrations into the BSG account center so that they can do other stuff. I think it just says here, in future iterations, users will have broader interaction with the official Battlestate Games Discord servers as well as a number of unique features. So things are just getting meshed. They're meshing with other companies, doing more stuff to like integrate their Tarkov into other things, which is fine. And then the only thing really that was different is some of this stuff with boss guards. A lot of people saying that the AI is still like quite powerful up until now. Fixed an issue with boss guards, raiders, and rogues prioritizing aiming for the head instead of other body parts. They do just snap your head off quite a lot, which is annoying. This is a crazy one. Bots no longer use sound portals, i.e. the zones between outdoors and indoors, to adjust grenade throws. Previously, those portals allowed bots to throw grenades more accurately through windows or doorways. So that's if you just get like smashed out by a nade through a window, it's because the bots are just like beep, 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 beep. You use the little audio because they're using the audio mapping profile now, and just like getting it right in every single time. It's pretty insane. Reduce the overall grenade throw accuracy for all bots, and fix the situation where bots would expend their entire grenade launcher ammo in a single use.
Oh my.
Whatever that means. But that sounds turbo insane.
Yeah.
So apparently that's fixed. So yeah, not much really. A bit of bot stuff and linking to Discord and some overlap from the Battle Pass. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Those are just things that you're going to unlock there and bring them over to the base game, and then PvE having softcore now. So that's the main one. Then we've got the actual arena update itself. So this is the Battle Pass 1. Season 1, Tempus Campionum, the time of the champions, which is here. And the way that it's ended up rolling out, which I actually think is okay. People, there's mixed reception about things, but, when isn't there with BSG? There's some good stuff, there's some bad stuff. I would say as a broad, before we go into the nitty gritty, I would say it's like 90% good, and there's a 10% of stuff that's like either like it's like kind of bad, but like maybe fixable. There's nothing like terrible in there. Some things that maybe seem a bit like a bit of an oversight, but at this point, there's like caveats as to why it's not actually necessarily that bad. So we will see. So it says added Battle Pass Season 1 as part of the Battle Pass. All the rewards are available to players for free. So that's the main Battle Pass. And again, asterisk here, there is a paid bit. Doesn't say that here, but there is a bit. We'll find that in a minute. So the Battle Pass includes over 70 rewards, the new weapon Radiant Model 1, which is incidentally the last unlock in the main Battle Pass, reflex sights, of which there are 2, unique earplugs, of which there is 1, that's one of the controversial things, helmets, tactical clothing, Lego medals, yada yada, rest drop, etc. So rewards are unlocked as you progress through. You got a question?
I already have a question, but should I wait? Are we saving questions till the end?
What kind of question is it?
Let's wait till you get to a good stopping point. Continue.
Okay. So it works the same as the last one. Rewards unlock as you progress through the Battle Pass and are purchased using currency battle points. Please note the currency is unique to each season, which is interesting. There's quite a few people who are building up Battle Pass points in the previous season because they said that it was going to carry over. What they meant was that it was going to carry over between wipes. So my light fell off.
Giga down.
Giga down. It's not quite sorted in my room yet, as you can probably tell. Not everything is fixed down. There's a few things that are just sort of like loose. But anyway, I will carry on. So what was I even saying? That's kind of stopped my trail of thought.
Battle points were carrying over, but they'd actually
carry over.
Something else.
Yes. Before I got assaulted by my lighting. Yeah. So what they meant was that it was going to carry over between wipes, not between battle passes. And it sort of makes sense when you think about it like that, because it would be a bit stupid if the battle pass points went from one to the other. You could amass like trillions of them and then suddenly just like buy all the stuff straight away. It wouldn't really make sense. But because the wipe is in 3 weeks time for 1.0, battle pass points that you get now are going to continue on because it will still be battle pass number 1 in the next wipe. That's kind of what I mean. So they all started again from 0, which is fine. It's okay. And the There's a few bits that they've done here. So like last time you could get crates and then unlock them in EFT. That
Okay.
doesn't happen now. Now you get
Okay.
this thing called refs drop.
Mm-hmm.
So you get these like ref drop crates. You can get them a few different ways. Some of them are the rewards, some of them are for doing other things, dailies and stuff. And when you get one, you open it up and it looks like the Dota 2 like loot box crate things. Like the scrolling
Yeah.
thing. I know, it's wild. It's actually kind of
CS2
wild. And it's like,
skins.
yeah, CS2 skins, the Dota 2, loot
Oh
box
my
type
god.
mechanic, which is pretty funny. So that's like one of the mechanics in there. So that has replaced the boxes that you like just move over to the base game, so you can't move those over, and they give you like a bunch of different things. So far we've gone through like two. So it's like the battle pass itself with 100 levels, various unlocks all the way up to the new gun. Then you've got the refs box one, which is the roulette wheel of chance, where you unlock like stuff in there, and that's different to the stuff in the main battle pass. Then you've got the new. Well, I guess I should caveat. So there wasn't enough to spend battle pass points on previously in the last one,
Mm-hmm.
and so people ended up with loads of them. You can buy more ref crates with battle pass points. So if you
Okay.
finished it, and you still get battle pass points for dailies and weeklies,
I
which
gotcha.
and you can buy them as well with rubles and GPs. You can
Oh.
trade 40 battle pass points because you could do that last time too. You could trade 40 battle pass points now to get a new ref crate. So it's kind of like the last thing probably that you're going to unlock is like spending BPs on
Right.
ref boxes to do the loot roulette,
Well,
try and get
what
those items out of there.
what's in the Rift boxes?
Ref's box there's like just it's kind of the same stuff but different. It's just like some weapon paints. There's like some like different versions of the armor, like different versions of the masks and like stupid stuff.
Okay, so it's all
Um,
like cosmetic arena stuff or Tarkov account stuff.
yeah, yeah. So we like I think there's like I can't even remember now. There's a bit of clothing in there. There's just various things like weapons paints and cosmetic stuff. There's nothing. I would say there's nothing impactful in the refs box. There's impactful stuff in the main battle pass, which I'll go through. There's impactful stuff in the well, so actually it's mainly in the main battle pass. Honestly, it's in the free bit, which is sort of what makes it better. So anyway, so you've got these refs. So you've got main battle pass level 100. Get stuff in there. Obviously, you need to have arena. If you do have arena, that bit's free. Refs crate drop thing is also free. That's just the roulette wheel thing, and there's nothing too crazy in there. Then we have the third section, which is the customs tactical map.
Yes. In
So
public.
this is yes, this is the paid bit. So
Oh.
you have to buy the customs tactical map. For me, with all taxes and everything included, it was about £17, I think, just over.
Okay.
So I think it's about $25 equivalent. Some people have said that there's like fairly
Hmm.
aggressive regional pricing applied to this thing, supposedly.
Hmm.
So in some places it's like really cheap, and in some places it's really expensive. I'm not hugely sure, but for me it seemed kind of like fairish. I'm just like, yeah, fine. It's under £20. I'm like, whatever. Like Tarkov's always kind of expensive for this stuff, but you know, um, I don't really mind. It's fine. So it gives you, it's very weird. It gives you an, as it says, interactive map of customs featuring points of interest. So it looks like it did in the screenshots, like a game board type thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's much more straightforward than I think anybody thought it was going to be. There's 5 models of a soldier connected by a dotted line. And you start at one side and you go to the other. So when you click on the first model, it zooms in on that section and it splits into, I don't know, like 7 different soldier figurines. But there's just like dotted lines connecting those guys together as well. And you just have to progress through the pathway. Once you
Mm-hmm.
get to all of the points on that little grid, you can then move on to the next like big soldier in the next point. So the first one's like big red, the next one's over by like like the checkpoint sniper roadblock or whatever it's called. One down by like fortress, then one up by like gas station, and one over. And then there's 2 at the end. One down by like ZB13, and the other up in that sort of weird corner up by scav checkpoint kind of thing. So really, all it ends up being is like a graphical display for progression through the paid battle pass. So for each little figurine that you complete, you unlock a thing. But there's not really like there's a little bit of choice, but not really because you have to finish them all to get to the next one anyway. What's different about it is that there's a unique mechanic for unlocking the guys. So on the very first one, for example, you'll turn up and it'll say to unlock this one, you need an SMG token. So okay, so what's an SMG token? So at the bottom of the screen, there's a bunch of different tokens that you can get for doing stuff. 10 of
Mm-hmm.
them are for weapons, 4 of them are for game modes. So for weapons, it'll be this assault rifle, SMG, marksman's rifles, bolties,
Okay.
shotguns, whatever. So 10 different ones, including grenade and melee. And then there's the 4 game modes: blast gang, team fight, last hero, and checkpoint. So there's 14 tokens in total. So if you
Okay.
get a certain number of kills with the guns, you'll get a token for that particular gun. So if you get 12 kills in last hero with an assault rifle, you get an assault rifle token. Same with the
Mm-hmm.
SMGs, same with the machine guns. I think if you get 9 with the shotties, you get a token. If you get 2 with the melee, 2 with the grenades, you get a token. And then
And
you
then
use those to
something
unlock the different
similar
points.
for the game modes, I assume.
Yeah, so you either come fourth or better in last hero, you get the token, win a checkpoint, win blast gang, win a team fight, you get a token for those. You use those to unlock the different points. But the one thing that makes it like classic BSG thing would just be to leave it like that, and then you
Okay.
get through to like the melee kills one, and then it would just be super toxic. That would be like the old sort of classic BSG way to do it, right? But they've
Uh-huh.
actually done it intelligently, which is I think there's like it's a more modern BSG phenomenon. These sort of
Okay.
more intelligent systems. So you get to one where you're just like, oh, I need like 2 knife kills, or two grenade kills in particular is actually probably more irritating in some ways because they don't like they only drop like loose spawns on certain maps on last hero and checkpoint. If you don't want to play those game modes, you're kind of just out of luck, and it's kind of hard to
Mm.
kill somebody with a grenade anyway. So
Yeah.
getting 2 kills to get the token is like pain. But you can do token exchange. So any five tokens of your choosing, you can
Oh, okay.
swap for
That's
one
nice.
token of another type. So you can get 60 kills with assault rifle and get a grenade token with that reward. And also the kills, they overlap between raids. So if you get, you know, 15 kills, you'll
Mm-hmm.
get 1 token with 12, and then you'll have 3 out of 12 left in your
Oh, that's
account.
nice. Yeah.
So it's like it feels nice. It feels good to do. It's like not too annoying. If you don't want to play the other game modes, it's fine. Like every time a blast gang or team fight one comes up, I just swap some SMG tokens, or whatever, to get the game mode one, or maybe like even a checkpoint or last hero one, because I've got those in excess. So it's like you can play the games that you want, and you can use the stuff you want. But you kind of incentivized to do different things. You're sort of making a choice about like, do I have like a red line that I will not do this game mode, or I will not do this thing? Well, that's fine because you can
Yeah.
pay more for it another way. But it sort of makes, if it's like, oh well, you need a shotgun token, it's like, well, I have shotgun classes set up, I'm not opposed to playing the shotgun, that's
Mm-hmm.
fine, I'll do it. It's a lot easier to do the thing than it is to do the swap. So it's kind of like incentivizes you to do something a bit different that's 80% of what you want to do.
Yeah.
And then the things that you really don't want to do, you can fix by not having to participate in that particular way, which is cool.
Yeah. No,
So
it's good.
that's it's good. It's pretty good, and that's the same kind of stuff for the most part. Weapon,
Now,
skins, whatever, and all. There's two things in there. There's some like EFT clothing at the end, which is like Hawaii shirts, and then there's a Nikita's own announcer voice in there, which is like the main unique thing of the customs one, which is quite cool. But there's nothing like pay to winny busted in that either, which is kind of nice.
now the as you progress that like map or that line throughout customs that you were
Mm,
describing, each stop point you have to spend the token, and it varies on
yeah.
what is required for that particular.
Exactly. So
Okay,
it might be like an SMG token, and then an assault rifle token, and then a machine
gotcha.
gun token. And as it goes on, like now I think it's like, you need 2 team fight tokens, 2 assault rifle tokens, and I'm like about 4 out of 6 of the way through it. So the requirements, sorry, are ramping up
Gotcha,
as we go
gotcha.
further through. So it
Yeah,
takes a bit longer to get to the last ones. So, but it's good. It's okay. It's actually fun.
that's yep. That sounds cool. It's funny because yeah, I mean for keen viewers and listeners, last week we at the very end of the cast we got to watch the trailer for this battle pass, and we saw the customs map, and we were just like speculating what is a tactical map, and now it's just funny to see what it is. But it sounds, I mean, like, yeah, I love, as you say, the more modern BSG, well thought out approach to the progression, where it's like it gives you that agency, where it's like,
Hmm.
yeah, it's like you're not just forced down a singular tunnel. It's like you're heavily incentivized to go down that tunnel. But if you want, you can go, take the detour and take the long way around. But it's still gonna cost you. But which is fine if you're, gives you freedom because you can choose whatever detour you want. You know, maybe it's a shotgun. Maybe you hate shotguns and you would rather be a sniper. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good overall, I would say. It is pretty good. Um there's some I'm still slightly, I mean, maybe this is just the way. I'm slightly surprised that they put all this work in just for like a it's really just a graphical representation of moving along a line. It's just like another battle pass, really. Like when you boil it
Yeah,
down,
yeah.
there's not really any. There's one bit of the very last piece branches. In some very small places, it gives you an option, but you have to do them both anyway. So I don't really see what the point is. And actually, I didn't. To be honest, I haven't actually checked. I think you need to complete them all. But anyway, right at the end, there's like two branches. There's one which is the bear branch, and one which is the USEC branch. And one's got the USEC Hawaiian shirt on it, and one's got the bear USEC Hawaiian shirt on it. So you can kind of choose at the end which way you're going to go, but you're going to complete the whole thing anyway at some point. So I don't know. It seems like it almost seems to me too much work just for this. But maybe they wanted to because it's paid. I don't know. Yeah, maybe they justified it because like people are paying actual real money for it. I don't really know, but it almost seemed like too much for that. So I'm still speculating that it might be for something else. There might be some other ulterior reason for this to exist or whatever. Like one thing that's really strange stylistically is when you load into the customs tactical map, the volume is like really high and it's like the deafening sounds of like the sea. It's really odd. It's like seafront. It almost sounded like white noise kind of thing, but it's like
Yeah.
roaring water, and it's way too loud. I don't know why it's so loud. It just is like incredibly loud. Um, and I think it must be. It kind of looks a bit like Lightkeeper's desk, sort of. Like, you can't really tell, but it sort of sounds like somewhere around Lighthouse. It's like desk in the Lightkeeper's Lighthouse bit. Like maybe there's something else there going on. Like so many people are like, oh, have some kind of like weird turn-based tabletop strategy Tarkov game would be like kind of cool. Maybe it's based on something else. I don't know. Maybe it is just for this and there's nothing else. But it just seems like a lot to go into it. Just for as I say, a graphical representation of how far you've progressed. It does seem a bit strange.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if it's maybe they possibly, I mean, this is just major speculation, but it's just reuse assets because I know there was that screenshot of that one, BSG's Twitter. They had like a screenshot of like the Tarkov board game that they were playing on like
Yeah.
their. So I wonder maybe but maybe they just wanted, yeah, as you say, to monetize something in addition because the battle pass itself isn't monetized, like it's just a free feature,
Yeah.
so they wanted like a little something extra, so they want to put a little extra effort into it to really
Mm.
add some value there. It's interesting, I did notice as I scroll down there's like a monetization section. It says tactical map can only be purchased on the EFT Arena website. Okay, grant some blah blah blah. Can only be purchased once per season, so I'm assuming the next season you can buy either the same tactical map again or like a new one or something. I don't know.
I guess. I mean, there wouldn't be any like reason to buy it more than once. I think maybe
Yeah,
because it's like battle points or something. I don't really know.
yeah.
So I guess Well, I guess we'll talk about like issues. So the first part of it is the fourth section. So there's three sections that we were talking about previously. The fourth section is the ability to purchase battle pass levels
Oh,
and
really?
battle pass
Okay.
points. You weren't able to do this last time,
Yeah.
which has some interesting consequences. So there's 100 levels in the battle pass. You can technically on day one open the battle pass and spend, you could buy 10 times,
Mm-hmm.
purchases and get to max level on the very first day,
Yeah.
theoretically. Now it's kind of one of those things where like I don't want to do that because like what's the point of doing that? That's going to like ruin the. So I want to play through the thing, right? It's like really weird to be like paying $50 or whatever and then like having level 4 traders. Like just what's the point? Like I want to actually work through the content and whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, you're able to do this time. And so for each purchase level, you get 2 battle points as well. And then upon reaching the maximum battle pass level, so 100, you basically get 2 battle points for every level that you don't get. So if you were level 100, you should go to level 110, but you can't. So there's 10 levels that just disappear, right? If you were max level and you tried to buy this thing, they can't give you levels because you're already at max level. So they give you extra battle pass points to compensate you.
Oh, I
Is
see what.
basically
Okay,
what
gotcha.
happens.
Gotcha.
Normally you'd get 10 levels and 30 points, So instead of getting any levels, you just get 50 points. So they give you an extra 20. So it's like 2 per level that you're missing, kind of thing. Can be purchased an unlimited number of times per season. Now, this sort of combination of things has a really like it has an interesting and weird effect, sort of like almost a slippery slope kind of effect. So the first one, so as I said, right, the last unlock in the main battle pass is the Radiant Model 556 weapon. It's basically an M4 with slightly better stats, but
Oh,
obviously it's a new gun,
so this is a brand new like SKU effectively to Tarkov.
kind of. So this thing is a brand new gun that you can only get on ref, and you can only get it on ref once you've unlocked it in the battle pass at level 100. Now, this might also be to do with the fact that it's like softcore is kind of muddying the waters a bit because you can theoretically buy your way through to the end of the battle pass, unlock the Radian 556 weapon, buy it off ref, and then like sell it on the fleet.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Like, can you sell them to Flea and like, does
You
it
can
cross
currently.
over to main Tarkov?
Is that because it's softcore or because it's going to be in the future? Nobody really knows. When I first looked, they were 6 million.
Oh my! I mean, I guess that makes sense because it's brand new,
Yeah,
and
they're
you can,
still like a mil
and they're like exclusive. Like, you can't even loot
to
it, I
arena.
assume, in game.
I wouldn't have thought so. And oh, you can only currently get it at the moment if you have paid your way through the battle pass. It wouldn't be because of the way that you get the BPs from either the 24-hour currency spend thing, which is capped, or dailies and weeklies, which are also capped. I don't think you would have enough, but maybe you would have enough battle points, honestly, because you can still level just by playing. Maybe some people are getting into it now. I don't actually know, but on day one anyway, the only way you could do it, right, obviously, was buying your way through 10 times purchases and then selling it, flipping it on the flea market kind of thing, which is like kind of weird. It's like, oh, I can spend 50 euros and convert that into 6-7 million rubles every reset kind of thing. Like obviously it's a bit less now because you can do that every reset with ref, right? So it's like kind of weird. It's like right on the border of RMT. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like why it's weird. It's like
Sorry, I've
it's
heard
like
bits and
one
pieces of.
step removed. Yeah, it's basically it's one step removed from Battle State. I think this is an
I mean,
unintended consequence, but it's a one step removed from BSG selling you rubles. You can give
yeah,
them
it's.
50 euros, level the battle pass, and sell a Radian's model weapon 556 for 6 million on the flea market.
I mean,
Every reset from ref.
it's basically BSG sanctioned RMT. I mean, with a lot of extra steps, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, I see what you're saying, and there is some truth, but also some tongue in cheek, of course. But like, yeah, it's. I mean, we talked about this ages
It's
ago.
theoretical. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, why? So wait, I'm looking at the wiki, and
Mm.
I can't remember how the wiki functions when it tells you to perform its stats. Is that like the lower receiver only, or is that like just the stock standard configuration? Because it says
I
52
actually can't even
ergo
remember. I
on
think
the
that's
M4.
what does it say the recoil is?
So for which one? I'm looking at both the M4
For
and
the rate.
the.
Oh yeah, what does it say the M4 is? Because the M4 is around 80, isn't it? 75 or something.
Yeah, I
This
think it's
stock.
84 vertical stock standard.
Is that what it says on the wiki?
It says 84. Yeah.
Yeah, because if it was the lower, it'd be like 100 and something. So
Yeah. Okay. So it's hard to tell because the recoil on the Radiant one is 62, and the Ergo 75, which the Ergo being like 20 points higher almost. Um,
but they're
well,
very
not
different guns,
almost.
right? Fortunately for you, I've already done the work.
Oh, okay, good. This is why you're my favorite, Giga.
So the lower receiver, and they have completely interchangeable parts, by the way.
Yeah.
So the lower receiver for the M4 is 48 ergo and 119 recoil.
Okay.
And the lower receiver for the Radians is 51 ergo, so that's three more, and 112 recoil, so it is
Oh.
7 better as well.
Okay.
Not a lot,
Not a lot.
not a lot. And with the same parts, that percentage change, gets well, the absolute change, I should say, gets like crushed down. So I can't remember like
Yeah.
what's a Meta M4 like 45 or something. So that's a 63% reduction, something like that. So a 45 Ergo M4 with the same parts on the Radians would be 42.3. So we're talking like a few points of recoil,
Yeah.
really. And then Ergo doesn't scale, so it would just be 3 Ergo higher. So it's sort of whatever. There's like a couple of interesting parts about it. There's a new upper that comes with it,
Yeah, I
which
see
is
that.
it's an improvement on the Altor. So it's
Mm-hmm.
minus 5% recoil rather than minus 4. But no one uses that one anyway because the AX15 is minus 3%, but with plus 14 ergo as opposed to plus 8. And this thing on the Radiance one is like plus 7 ergo, so it's even worse. So it's like one more recoil reduction, but like even worse ergo. But no one really cares about recoil now. Back in the day, this would be the meta upper,
Yeah.
but ever since the recoil system got changed, it's like not a big deal. The other like unique parts to it, there's a new charging handle, the Raptor SD. This now has 3.5 ergo rather than the old 3. So you can sneak an extra half an ergo point out of here.
It's
And
literally
then it's got a
broken.
new handguard. I know. It's got a new handguard, the Radiant Model 1 14-inch. And that is actually worse than the SAI Meta handguard. It's minus 2.5% recoil as opposed to 3 for the SAI. And it's 10 ergo rather than 8, rather than 12 for the SAI. So the Salient Arms one, the Meta one, that looks all funky, is better than the one on the Radiant. So like, it's not a big deal. I've seen a clip of them both being fired. I've not got the Radiance one yet because I haven't bought my way through the pass. I've seen a clip of them both being fired in like a meta configuration. I don't think you'd be honestly. I don't think you'd be able to tell. It's basically an M4.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's just it's a
Yeah.
reskin of the M4. Really, it's like it's very very slightly better, marginally better, so it makes you feel a little bit better about your life. But like practically speaking, it's not going to make any difference. So I think that's fine. Like it's okay. It's not busted. It's just an alternative. That's what these things should be anyway. Like nothing in the battle pass should be strictly better. There should be no power creep,
But
really,
it
in my opinion.
is
It should just be
strictly better.
alternatives to stuff. It'd be cool. Hmm.
But it is strictly better.
Okay, practically then. Let's say practically.
Yeah,
It's
fair
not
enough.
practically any better. Now, that's the gun. There are a couple of other bits.
Mm-hmm.
There's two holographics. Well, I guess they're not holographics. They're reflexes. I haven't actually tested both of them. I tested one of them because you could buy it on the flea market. It was 200k because there weren't that many out there. It's on page 6 of the battle pass. It's a bit further up than where I'm at, and it is a Swamp Fox Justice. And lots of people have gone, oh, this thing is like the old PK06. Like it's got very very crisp dot. I will say it's got very very crisp dot. So it's very nice. There's another one, the Falky something, Falk. I don't know how you pronounce it, which is on page 2. I haven't tried that one yet, but people haven't really raved about that. It seems just kind of normal. I think it's nice. I think it's okay. But the Swamp Fox Justice one has really got some people's juices going. I'll tell you, people are loving that one. And then you've got the most controversial thing about the whole of the thing, which again it's actually in the free all of these ones are in the free battle pass, so none of this stuff is in the paid bit or in the like loot box bit. It's all just in the normal bits,
Sure.
which is kind of okay. It makes it slightly better. I mean, it's still gated behind arena people, but if you have
Yeah.
arena, anyone with arena can get this. Most people got EOD. You could buy arena separately if you wanted to. Everyone on herd's got it. Like, nah. The on page 2 you get, or is it 3? Anyway, it's early on, level 20. You get the Comtac TEP 300. Would you like to know what those are? They're a new headset.
I've
Any
seen a
idea
little
what's
bit
special about
spoiler.
them?
I've seen some
Yeah, spoiler
spoilers on
alert.
Twitter.
Spoiler alert, they're IEMs. Spoiler alert, they fit with the Altin. So, again, is this a softcore thing? The fact that I don't think you can buy them on the fleet. There weren't any when I looked. You can buy 3 per reset from Ref. I haven't tried them yet. When they first came out, apparently people were saying they were very similar to the Comtacs, but I haven't tried. I haven't checked. Um, I don't know. We're gonna have to see. The thing is, if they fit with the Altin, the Vulcan, the Killer, the Reese T, or whatever, that makes them incredibly OP, right? And it busts the whole helmet meta wide open. But then on the flip side, if they weren't sold 3 at a time from Ref, then I think it's maybe like fine if it's rare. Like we have like busted stuff in the game. We have like thermal scopes. We have automatic grenade launchers. We have what else is like super crazy? We've got loads of crazy stuff in this game. But
Mm-hmm.
semi-automatic rifles that one shot through class 6, right? We've got like lots of crazy stuff in Tarkov. So it's really a question of balance and like rarity and scarcity. Like if they're found in raid only, like on bosses or something, not all the time, they can't be sold on the flea, i.e. they're not replaceable easily. You could sort of argue like they could be in the game, that's okay. To have them through the battle pass on ref, like 3 a reset, in my opinion, that's not okay. I think that's too available, and it's too much of a line between arena people and everybody else who's playing the normal game, not playing arena. I think it's too much. It's just too impactful for the way it is. But I don't know. Like again, maybe it's a softcore thing. Like VSG have got a lot of leeway right now, and like hearing people because they can just be like, a bit like, oh, it's beta, it's fine. Again, they can just be like, hey, it's softcore, like anything goes right now, so just
Yeah.
don't worry about it. Chill out. You're supposed. I thought you guys wanted to run around with Altins on, like they could very easily make that argument and say like, we fixed it at 1.0, we fixed it 1.0, so don't worry about it, it's gonna be fine. So I think they've got time to think about it. People have made their comments known about it, so they just have to figure out what they're going to do with it. They could just like restrict it a bunch, or I don't even know, like put it behind a really annoying bart or something. I'm not sure. Just make it really expensive. I don't know. There's lots of ways to do it. Make it a Lega medal or something on ref. It's like then you definitely can't just like farm it.
So is it like basically you have Comtax, but you're wearing an Alton?
Yep.
Okay, well that's completely busted.
Yeah.
That is insanely busted. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's totally broken.
I just don't like fundamentally the idea. Like, it just like takes me out of the experience. You know when you like kill someone, you go to loot them, and then like they have like something crazy that's like, why would you ever bring this into raid? You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
this is like such a crazy expensive thing. Maybe it's like a Risti or like you like they grinded hard for whatever piece of gear. This you managed to like
yeah.
kill the level 65. Like this is just like it just feels a lot cheaper, I guess, because it's like oh, the arena player, this guy has arena and like grinded it out, and it's just like for me, it kind of takes me. And because this is such a game changer, literally, like I mean, you just completely negate the downsides largely of the Alton and like the Tagilla helmet. It's
Hmm.
like it's just way too much. So I just don't think it should be. I don't know something. I am call me old fashioned, but like I would just rather arena and it being existed in its own little place, and then like Tarkov exist in its own little place. Like I like things before Rift got added to the game. Like it just feels like it
Me
just is.
too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, yeah, I just it would have been fine if they just kept the line as cosmetics. Just keep everything with cosmetics, and it would have all been
Yeah,
okay. Like, but adding functional stuff from Arena over into EFT, unless it's just with the Radiance thing, there's like it's so close that it doesn't really matter in this case. But if things are just like a functional reskin of whatever it may
yeah,
be, that's fine. You get some camos, you get different pattern, you get some different clothing, like gloves or whatever melee weapons or something. Like anything that's just like doesn't matter that much.
yeah.
That's
Because
fine.
even
I think
then, it's
that's okay.
like you see a guy or do you kill a guy and loot him. He's like, oh, he's got this skin. He's an arena player. Like he must have grinded really hard for this. But that's cool. I want that. Blah blah. And that's like one way, and then the other way is like, oh, I died to the guy. Let me check his gear. Oh yeah, he's got an Alton and the earplugs thing. Paid, quote unquote, paid to win. I mean, not really, but it's just like, ugh. It
Yeah, it
just
just doesn't feel nice.
yeah, it just takes away from, especially. I mean, it's main like maybe if, but this is the thing is like, do you really want them to take this really cool item and nerf it to the ground to where it's like completely useless, but it's still in the battle pass or whatever, or like why not just put this in? Do you know what I mean? Like just make it a part of the game as a whole, not like some exclusive. Because it is a cool thing. Like oh yeah, this is like a crazy power spike. If you combine this with like your Alton helmet, like
Hmm.
I don't know what a similar maybe like a 60 round mag or something in an M4, earlier wipe. That's like a decent power spike or some really good ammo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a really good gun, like similar kind of concept there. It's like, but imagine it's just like, oh, you can't actually get the really good ammo and the really good gun because it's only in the battle pass in a separate game that's sort of tied to the game, but only in certain limited fashion. It's just I don't know. It
Yeah.
just takes away. It makes things way too like. divided and divisive.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, some people were saying that they imagine they probably will do something and put them in the base game in some fashion because these are like I think they're tan ones or something, so they have room to put like the black one in the base game,
Sure.
like something along those lines. I don't know. Even if they just like appeared in the base game on a trader, even that I would be like, no, this is just it's too much. Like you kind of want it to be for something that powerful in a game where headshot matter is like you can always be killed with the shot to the head. I know some people do argue like, oh, but the neck. It's like, well, it's now this goes to the thorax, not really the same. I mean, yeah, but Alton's in that lot are not as powerful as they used to be because of the throat hitbox existing in general. Like you can always get that's like the new jaws, or head eyes, because you can always be hitting the throat past the armor and past the Alton. Technically, it's still true, but you want somebody to assemble the Exordia, right, to use this thing. It's just like, oh, I've got the Alton, but I can't use it yet because I need. Oh, but then I finally found the IEMs on like Bird Eye or something. You're like, oh, now I can run the Alton. Like, this is that's what you want. That's what you want, not just like free a reset from ref. Like it's just such a
Yeah,
brain dead thing
yeah,
to do. It's like locked behind sort of guy. It doesn't feel good to use even really because it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna go and play, but like I can go get another one. Like, it doesn't feel
yeah,
like I'm risking anything. It's all about risk reward, right? These games are about risk reward. So if you take that away, it's not even fun to play with anymore. It's just
yeah.
like, oh, I just have the power thing without having to
Exact.
like do anything. It's just
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Because I already saw like some
So
wild screenshots of people's loadouts, and I'm just like, well, I guess they're now super Chad stomping noobs on customs. It's like,
yeah, I think there was a screenshot going around, which was another unintentional one, which was there's like some kind of Spartan arena helmet type thing,
mm-hmm.
and that fits at the same time as something else. Was that my face mask? I think you might be able to do like alt-in, like arena Sparta helmet thing on the face thing, like a Death Shadow, and then the IEMs, and people are just like, "What is this?"
Yeah,
Like this is mental. Because I think the face thingy is like there's some class 4 thing. I'm not sure, like class 3 jaw. I don't know. But they're not supposed to go together. It's clear. It's clear
yeah.
that they're supposed to be incompatible, right? It's obvious that that's supposed to be the case.
Telling you, it's a slippery slope. Next thing you know, they're gonna have like a shoulder pad shield for your armband slot, and it's gonna like deflect bullets, and arena exclusive battle pass, ref level 2.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You could be able to buy a full mech suit off Ref. You know,
Imagine.
yeah, just like turn up into raids like Timmy's first down customs. Just like you just land with the jetpack. Just charge up the miniguns. Like a literal 40k dreadnought appears, drop pods into the ground. You just step out and just like flame through everyone. That's kind of how Tarkov's going to be. It's going to be BSG X Games Workshop. It's like the latest Battle Pass crossover, brand crossover that you never knew you needed. Now you can play as a literal space marine.
That would be
Yeah,
so cool if they had that crossover and there was like the bolt gun.
yeah.
Oh my
BSG
god.
would do such a good job at a
They,
40k game, though. They really would.
yeah,
Yeah,
I could see
they do
that.
such a good job. That'd be awesome. That'd be so cool.
Now I want
Oh.
a bolt gun in, in
Yeah,
Tarkov.
in Tarkov. Yeah, get the unspeakable mod people to do it. Get those guys. That's what we need. Get Fontaine back.
hmm
Stop working on realism. Like, go do something important. Like
Yeah. Yeah,
building a
Tarkin, I
40k
got
on customs.
Tarkin, I got your next video idea. Give me a giant mech suit and a bolt gun.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like you in a squad of 3. It's just like I'm sorry, but you're going to be the one that the demon comes out of. I'm afraid. It's like, oh, why me? It's always me. Good stuff. Good stuff. So yeah, so Battle Pass is, it's mostly good, I would say. It's mostly good. There's these few bad parts about it. You can technically there's sort of an extension as well of the ability to purchase levels. You can technically, again, this is technically, you can buy like Battle Pass points 50 at a time for €5 or whatever,
hmm
$5, whatever. Each time you pay for this thing, you can spin the wheel on Ref's loot box and you can get GP coins and Lego medals. In theory, at the moment, this wasn't possible before, but right now you can like spin the wheel, you can get Lego medals, you can transfer them to the base game, you can sell them. So in theory, if you spent like $1,000, like
hmm
$1,000 or something, you could just like get loads of Lego medals and sell them in the base game. So in theory, you can just RMT launder stuff through. But again, it's softcore, right? You still can't sell GP coins. Actually, I only found this out the other day. But you weren't able to sell Legos before either. It's only because of softcore that you're able to sell them. So, I think back when things go normal, I think a lot of this stuff will go away. You probably won't be able to sell the special ref items on the flea. You never would before, I don't think. You won't be able to sell Legos. It's like a lot of this flea market laundering will disappear,
Yeah.
I think, once softcore's gone. So I think it'll be all right. But I mean, it's like it's. I think it's unintended consequences. This is definitely not like an intentional RMT route. It's just like a little loopholes in the systems they've made because they've added so much stuff so quickly.
This is a minor thing, but do you know if they removed the crafts in the hideout for unlocking the loot boxes since now they got this new system?
I don't know. So you still get the old crates, you just don't get the BP zero crates. There was a Battle Pass zero crate specifically that you used to unlock along the Battle
Uh,
Pass.
okay,
So
okay.
that's what they've replaced with the rate craft. You still rate craft ref crate. You still get the other ones like the supply one and
Okay, okay.
the valuables one, because you can still get those from dailies. So you can still move
Okay,
those over.
okay.
It's just the BP one that got changed into ref's boxo junk. You have to just
Gotcha.
spin the wheel.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. So I think we're pretty much sorted there. They've done some balancing based on some of the things they've done. You used to be able to put 40 rounders on the Radian Model 1, which you weren't able to on the M4. Stop you doing that. They made a few other changes to things. I mean, I'm just reading through it. I don't think any of it really makes any difference, particularly. They just like change some points around. They keep messing with the points. One of the most annoying things actually is them every time they mess with the points, right? You want to use as much as of your
Mm-hmm.
um,
Meta
profile by
score.
preset point, yeah, meta score as you can.
Yeah.
So reducing things is kind of okay. This one's actually probably gonna be all right. But every time they like increase stuff, you like go back into arena and you have to like redo all your presets. It's like really
Yeah.
annoying because you're over points on like so many things. It's like, oh man, guys, can you stop just like poking around with these things? I have to like
Mm-hmm.
remake everything every time I open the game. It's a pain in the ass. So yeah, there's not. I don't think there's anything actually that useful there. Um, they did make a post though about the movement. So the quick recap was Arena felt like the base game. Then they did the Arena update that we talked about previously, where inertia was really, really, really low. They then did some changes for softcore in the base game, but they were different to Arena. They then said on Arena itself, they were like, oh, it's kind of too much based on feedback. We're going to change it. They then made inertia worse. Everybody, a thousand Chads cried out in pain. And they went, oh, okay, we'll revert it. They've reverted it, but they've managed to revert it not fully, which I think was intentional, but they've also managed to make the movement awful. And they've added loads of bugs by trying to change this
Classic
back,
BSG.
which is amazing. It's like it felt like it was just like, okay, this is like the base game. Maybe we could reduce inertia, or whatever. They reduced inertia loads. Everyone's like, this is sick. This is so sick. We love this. It feels so fast and fluid to play. Absolutely love this. It's supposed to be an arena game. Sure, if it's going to deviate from the base game, then whatever. Like, it can feel a bit different. Like as long as it feels faster, that's sort of okay. You can still practice if it's just quicker. If it's like ADS speed is quicker, like that's not going to mess
Mm-hmm.
you up in the base game, really. Like nobody goes like, oh, I use this specific 60 ergo gun in this game, and then I use this 60 ergo gun specifically in this game. I mean, you could do, and say, well, the ADS speed now is messing me up or whatever, because like all the different guns, they all feel a bit different, so it's kind of doesn't matter too much. But what they've managed to do now is they've managed to sort of like have a sort of half and half weirdness. And I didn't actually play that much when they did the reversion, and I saw people crying about it and complaining about it somewhere. I avoid the word crying because it is actually legitimate complaints. And then I played, and I was just like, "Oh my god, this feels absolutely horrible. This is genuinely awful." So there's like all sorts of terrible things they've done. So if you're sprinting, did I say about this before?
No.
No, I'm not. I can't have. I can't have. If you sprint and you jump and you land again, you're then walking.
Where even if you're
It's
still running, you just
even if you're still
holding the run,
running.
holding down
Yeah,
the run
that doesn't
button.
happen in the base game. In the base game, if you're sprinting and you jump and you land, you're
I
still running.
thought,
But in arena, it isn't, and you jump a lot more in arena. Let me tell you that. So anyway, so they've said we appreciate your feedback and reports of the issues you encountered on the first day after the release. But this is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days ago. I'm actually a bit disappointed how slow they are about this thing because like people have paid to play the battle pass, and it's like the movement has been shit for like 5, 6 days. It's kind of ruining the experience a bit. Various character controls, lack of responsiveness when attempting to run from various positions, when getting up from prone, after jumping, vaulting, and other situations. Various issues when entering ADS. Inability to interact with the tactical map at the end of the match in some games. Sorry, in some cases. Game server selection resetting after the end of a match. Various situations where players experience hit registration issues on opponents. Like people in my chat were speculating that they had like downgraded the server tick rate or something. I mean, I think it's wild speculation, but maybe there's just more people playing arena and they weren't and the server's not used to it or not up to scratch or something else that they've done. But they feel it feels more desyncy. It feels like shots aren't landing, and I don't say that lightly because I don't normally complain about that kind of thing.
Hmm.
But I've had like a few clips, and I actually have sent BSG specifically a clip because I was like, it felt really bad for hours. Like I played like 5 hours and it felt awful. So I was like, well, there's definitely some parts in here that are bad, and I'm going to take. I actually spent like an hour going through and looking at the most egregious ones. So it was even just like basic stuff like you would die, respawn, and like all the objects would be like loading in because they were culled before, and I'm just like, what is happening? Like this is like it was like
Oh
there's like
my.
frames stuttering on like reloading in. I'm just like, guys, this is really unacceptable actually. And there's like one where like shooting a guy with the AK-12, and it said 3 hits at the end. Okay, but like I hit the guy twice on his body, quite obviously when you slow because I slowed it down literally to frame by
Hmm.
frame and counted. So I hit the guy twice on his body and I shoot him twice in the head, and then he kills me and I have 3 hits. And like the shots were like nowhere near the end either because I shoot the guy and then I on ADS and the guy's still running, and then I ADS again, and then he kills me, right? Because I was just like, he's definitely dead. Like I saw 2 headshots when I was. Sometimes it's misleading when you're seeing it in real time, but like
Yeah.
I at the time I was like, I'm sure he's dead, and then oh he's not dead, and then I died. So it was not even like a desync issue necessarily because there was enough time for me to like on ADS and re ADS again and try to kill the guy. So it's just like something's not happening. So they are actually looking at it because it does something terrible has happened, and it doesn't feel that great to play. I'm sort of like weirdly and annoyingly, I'm now kind of getting used to it. So I'm sort of getting
Oh
used to it not
God.
going into sprint after jumping. And then I played the base game yesterday and I was like, no, it feels so different. Like, oh, this is awful. I was like, this is actually awful. This is now like messing with my muscle memory. Like we've reached that point where it is now bad to play arena too much because it makes the base game start to feel weird because they need to fix all this stuff. They really need to fix it like now. And it's been nearly a week. And it's not, and they put out this post basically being like, yeah, sorry, we broke it. We're looking at it.
Things just
It's like,
sound so chaotic
it's
and
just
crazy with like softcore, hardcore, and then all the arena changes being different from the game, and then deviating like, oh, we're gonna put stuff in, like,
uh,
oh, it's softcore now, oh, it's not softcore. It's just like I just hope when the game gets released, everything is seamless and good.
honestly.
And
Like, couldn't they have just left it fast? Like when it was fast, everything felt the same as in the base game, but just quick. You know,
I don't, yeah,
it was fine. It was genuinely fine. It was genuinely fine. There was no problem. Like, and then they dicked with it, and then they dicked with it again, and now it's broken, and it's been broken for a week. It's like so disappointing. It's genuinely so disappointing. I was actually quite cross when I finished my stream the other day when I was playing the Arena Battle Pass because I was like, we paid for this stupid thing.
yeah,
And the battle pass itself is actually really quite good, but you've managed to shoot yourself in the foot
yeah.
with this stuff, like on just the base mechanics for the actual game itself. Why? Why have you done this? Like, or why are you messing with it like now, just before the battle? Like, what are you doing?
They can't help themselves, Giga. I mean,
You literally can't help
it's
yourselves.
in their DNA. Like,
Driving me insane, honestly.
yeah.
But look, it's fun despite that. Anyway, it's pretty cool. I did some last hero. I needed like some bolty tokens, and I was like, let me just
Hmm.
do last hero bolty. I finally unlocked the because I don't usually use bolty. I finally unlocked the Archangel Mosin, so I can use the 10 round magazines in arena,
Oh, okay, yeah,
um, which makes the Mosin a lot better actually.
yeah, for
And
sure.
you have the special like tungsten 54Rs in
That's
arena that one shot
right.
people in the thorax.
Yeah, yeah.
And I went I literally came first. I had like 40 kills, which with the
Oh,
bolty for me is like insane. And people were just like,
yeah.
it was crazy. I had like quite a few moments where it was just like boom, 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 and then finally get taken down. I was just like, man, like I'm slaying. This is crazy good. I love this. This is awesome. Yeah, in the right hands, the Maltese in Arena are like really, really broken actually in some ways. Just because you just get like there's just no counterplay. You just get one shot, and
Yeah,
they just aim anywhere here, and you're
basically.
just dead. Like you just die. It's bonkers. As long as you play around the terrain enough, then it's kind of alright. Okay, so let's finish up the Tarkov stuff. So there was some Nikita dev clips that he posted. There's like a bunch of like random stuff. Let's see if I just like I think Very Bad Scav did a quite nice little breakdown in the comments. Mark 12 mod RAS. There's like a micro MDR type thing in there. There's like a guy's face with a bunch of like tattoos on it. So maybe he's like a cult dude. I'm not really sure. There's like them recording sounds, like planes and whatnot. BSG's office, which looks a bit like a LAN, and then the countdown timer. So they're now like 23 days. Can you imagine that being the office? It's like 23 days left. Like my god. There's not too much here. There's Killer's model sticking his ass out, which is probably the best part. It's like right at the end. Have you got it? Yeah, there you go. It's like the last bit, and the video just
Just like
cuts. Like,
very curse walking animation. Where he just suddenly extrudes his rear out and
hmm
arches his back insanely. It's
Yeah,
so funny.
yeah.
What is this? Oh, is that an M4?
Which one's
No,
that
that's
one?
an
Oh,
AK. Uh,
there's
Towards the end, it's like
that one there towards the end. Uh,
some type of AK. No, or no, I don't even know what this is.
yeah, okay, that's an AK-12 mag, isn't it? So
Yeah, but it's got
there
like
was
a.
some
Yeah, go
someone
ahead.
saying, is this the new CGNL 545 gun? Somebody was saying, yeah.
Okay. Huh.
I
That
don't know what
looks
that one even
interesting.
is. Let's see.
Yeah, some kind of like 545 M4 esque looking like AR-15
Yeah,
type
pretty
of thing.
pretty cool. Yeah, pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So yeah, more random posts from him, and then I did. I just found this comment from Nikita funny because he was just like, "Oh, I love Mondays" yesterday on Twitter, and Terratex just posted only two more until release. I'm just like, "Oh boy, can you like, man, the pressure is on. The pressure is on. Two more Mondays until release. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? The third, the 10th, and then bam, that's Saturday. That's it. One Tarkov 1.0.
I just, I don't even know, gang. My expectations are I've low. I feel like, and that's just I don't know. It's just I don't know.
Gonna make the bingo checklist, like invisible players. Yeah, to do like Tarkov
I
1.0 drinking game.
as funny as that is, I sincerely hope not. Because yeah, I mean they just like I honestly just genuinely I expect like the bare minimum in terms of like new content. Like maybe there's like a storyline quest of some sort, and you can like maybe terminal and then escape something like this, and then everything
Yeah,
else is like basically as is and works. Audio can still be scuffed. Like I just accept that as a part of the Tarkov experience. Um,
yeah, yeah. I'm just more worried about like things appearing and just like not working. I
yeah,
think there's gonna be lots of content. I do think there's gonna be a lot of content.
I don't know. I mean, like maybe, but I don't have. You know what I mean? I'm not. I don't want to get super creative about what that content. You know what I mean? It might
Yeah.
be literally more of the same. More quest, and like that's
hmm
fine. But I'm not. I'm
Yeah.
not expecting anything insane. But I'll be happy to experience something insane.
So, speaking of something insane and is a bit closer to, I mean, we're eating good at the moment, but something that's going to be coming soon, and I'm in hot anticipation of it. I'm ready for it now. I'm actually kind of like I don't even really want to. I want to play Arena, get through the Battle Pass, but like I'm not really interested in playing like the Tarkov base game right now because like I'm really, really, really looking forward to Arc Raiders at this point. I
Yeah.
really am. This is coming in 2 days from the day of recording, so it's the 28th right now. So it's coming on the 30th. I don't know what time, but I'm definitely gonna be streaming that. Definitely gonna be playing that. It looks amazing. I love the world. It's gonna be great. Um, so we're definitely
Good.
gonna talk a bit more about that. But you've been listening to a podcast, was it?
Yeah, so a podcast called Friends or no, yeah, Friends Per Second. It's on the YouTube channel called Skill Up, which I think is ran by this particular podcast host. And anyways, I was watching a couple of videos related to Arc Raiders, and someone had mentioned it, and I was like, oh, I'll go watch the full thing instead of watching their own little recap and whatnot. But
Wasn't the same type of test as the previous one.
it
Much
was
shorter and fun.
a segment within the podcast where they did an interview with producer Alexander Grondel, apparently, and there was some interesting stuff in there. One of the things of course, they talked about the server slam, and one of the big talking points of the server slam within the community was how limited it was in terms of progression, and so he asked them about that, and his answer was, well, it's probably about like 10 to 15% progression of what you could
Mm.
experience, and which I think that was a bit more than I had anticipated, but it does kind of make sense because it is often these things come out, and because they're live service games, it's like they're gonna continually to add content to it, sort of like
Yeah.
expand all of that stuff. So um, even though the progression was like probably like 5 hours, uh, so you could probably expect like 50 hours ish of total progression within the game before you kind of reach that sort of like endpoint. So I think that's pretty cool. I like that. What else? So there is or you say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just like it is interesting having not played any of the other tests and going back and looking at
Mm-hmm.
them, and now with like having actually played because I didn't get a chance last time, and looking back at me like, oh yeah, yeah, there really wasn't that much, and feeling that hitting the cap and feeling kind of stuck there
Yeah.
was interesting. But I think it depends on what they mean by because a lot of people have said this like 10-15%. It's just like okay, so it's gonna be 50 hours, but accessing some of the end game content may take longer. It sort of depends on what they do, right? So even though I don't, the assumption is that you'll progress through the content at a linear rate, which I think may not necessarily be the case, if that makes sense, right? You'll experience the first 50% of the game more quickly than you'll probably experience the second
That's
50% of the
true.
game. If that
Yeah.
makes sense, because you've got to like get certain things, go through the progression to get the stuff to go and do the mission.
Yeah.
It'll take a bit longer probably to grind up those things rather than, getting all your workbench and stuff set up might be shorter, but actually going to do some of the end sort of raid boss equivalent things like the Queen and that type of thing, the Harvester event stuff, that may take a bit longer to go through all of those bits. So I'm not necessarily like too concerned, but I do think they've got like a scope for events and things, but they just need to actually like do it. I'm sure they've got a plan.
Yep. On that, I know some people are really gonna like this. They're gonna be launching the Codex, which is basically gonna be like a lore library for people, and
Mm.
part of the rewards for looting certain items in the game, if I'm not mistaken, and progressing is you get unlocks in the Codex, and it's not just like a single entry; it's like multiple entries within a particular topic or whatnot. Because we don't really know a ton about the world. I mean, like the arcs, what are they doing there? Like what's we know like your humanity's been forced underground, and the top side is ruled by these machines. Or like how do they get there? It's just there's questions that need to be answered.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. Like I'm interested in the lore because it's like, as I said a few times, it's like right in my I don't know, just in the world, the type of world that I really, really like, and it's a classic science fiction storytelling technique. Really, is just like throwing the player in, or throwing the viewer, listener, reader, whatever it may be,
Mm-hmm.
in without knowing what's happening. You're
Yeah.
just in the world, and these things are occurring. You kind of have to figure out what happened afterwards. I've been reading some Reddit theories and people who've like been piecing a few bits together about how there
Okay.
are things from there's like a couple of signs with sponsors from the finals on, like advertising stuff in the world above in the arc, and they're like people are like, are these two things are the two worlds the same on the same timeline, but in like very different places? Because apparently, so within arc, I believe that the people like the raiders and everybody living in Speranza or whatever, they don't remember what happened. Like that information is kind of lost, I think. At least it is. That's what's been said. Maybe we'll find out more as we go through the story. But like for at least to start with, it's not necessarily common knowledge what's actually occurred. So no one really knows what happens. Like, did AI get out of control and take over? Apparently there's references to people uploading in the finals. I've never actually played the finals, but apparently there are some references to people like uploading themselves and stuff. So is there like I don't know, an upper echelon of humanity that like lives in orbit somewhere, and the machines are to control the people who are left down below or the surface or whatever? Don't really know. Like the machines may be under the control of another sect of humans on higher up in the social strata for one reason or another.
Yeah.
So it's there's lots of different ways that it could go through. It may not necessarily just be a autonomous AI, robot force. It may have something more human to it, which would be like kind of cool. So it's a really nice world for storytelling, because there's lots of different ways that this could have come about. It's like very, very, very cool. It's very neat. I like it a lot. I'm super intrigued, especially with like the AI design and robot design and stuff, like the enemies, and they're very eerie and they're like wandering around for mysterious purposes. It feels like there's a journey of discovery to be had. Or it could be aliens too. Exactly. It could be like some alien force as well. Hard to know. Very hard to know. So I'm intrigued to see what happens.
Yeah, on that topic of like journey and discovery, one of the things he specifically talked about was sort of like their style or vibe of like the post-apocalypse, and they wanted to. I mean, this ties into further about how they transitioned their game, because originally it was supposed to be like a looter shooter PVE only experience, and but anyways, I'll jump back to that. My point is he talked about how they wanted a sort of like hopeful atmosphere to it. Like
Hmm.
there's certain like a discovery or like a new frontier type of thing, instead of this more like depressive tone that you might see more in apocalyptic media,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
definitely feel like I resonate with, because it's like when you go out to a raid and it's like the world is like colorful, not like vibrant, but like there's color to it, and
Hmm.
like the buildings and structures, they feel like abandoned, but like also like not like foreign, but do you know what I mean? It's like they're kind of these weird big facilities and such. It's like what there's was life here, but because it's in the future, it has that sci-fi sort of element, and you yourself have like this retro sci-fi makeshift gear, and you're sort of like plunging to this top side, so to speak, because you've been forced underground, and now you gotta like scavenge for material, and you're fighting this almost like alien threat, basically, this non-human threat. So it feels like it's still got like that, the apocalypse is here, but it's like you're fighting. It's like hopeful. I don't, like you said, like I feel what he's saying there.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember they frame it really well, actually. It was one of the things that impressed me, and it shows you just how some of the soft things, it doesn't necessarily need to all just be mechanics and systems or whatever, just to, especially for initial impressions. Like obviously later on it needs to be that way, like gameplay and everything. But early on, impressions matter a lot. And if you've already in the beta, you've got like the cutscene that sort of frames the world, it explains who you are, like why, what are you doing, how this sort of just some minor details about like the vibe of the
Mm-hmm.
civilization that
Mm-hmm.
exists there. It goes such a long way, because it was kind of like, yeah, it's quite funny really. It's just like, yeah, like everything's a complete mess, like Earth's completely dominated by robots. It's fine, we live in underground Milan though, so it's all right. It's sort of the way that it's portrayed. It's just like we live in sort of Renaissance buildings underground, so it's no big deal. um it's just kind of funny, really. It's like there's so many things it reminds me of. Honestly, it's like it's got like inspiration from everything, even like the gear. Because I was thinking, I never really made this reference before, but you reminded me somehow. I can't remember exactly what it was that you said, but it sort of reminds me a little bit of like Tatooine in some ways. The thought of that, especially with the more sandy areas, is that, but
Yeah.
the clothes that people are wearing as well, like the scrap together
Yeah. Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's not necessarily post-apocalyptic, but that's like, stuff's crashed and people are like making stuff out of things, or
But the
it's sort of got
environment's
that. It's just,
harsh, so it's
the
reflected
environment's
in
harsh. Yeah,
your clothing and your lifestyle, which feels
yeah,
similar
exactly.
because like another thing I thought about was because there's like the space, there's like space helmets and like pilot helmetsy stuff, and that
Hmm.
to me that like feels like exploration and new frontier, but it's like not pristine equipment. It's like you got like just ragtag radio equipment strapped to your thighs, and it's like
Yeah,
it's got that sort of like run down look to it as well. And I don't know. It all just like really clicks for me on like its own identity.
yeah. No, it's really really good. There was Rust in chat was saying people in orbit would explain why Ark send resources to space. And I've like thought about this a little bit as well, just kind of like what is actually happening? Because remember we did that harvester event thing, and
Yeah.
that's sending rockets up somewhere. It doesn't necessarily have to be humans, but there's definitely something going on. And I reckon there's things that have not been revealed. I mean, there's definitely things that have not been revealed in terms of gameplay. But when you finish a raid and you're out of time, and they say, "Oh, an Arc Orbiter is coming in," and
Mm-hmm.
nobody on the internet seems to know what an Arc Orbiter actually is. No one's ever like
Yeah.
seen it or seen anything to do with it. And there's like it's almost like a big like bomb that goes off
Yes.
at the end of the raid.
Yes.
And some people are like, oh yeah, it's like the nuke that, happens at the end. And other people are like, yeah, I don't know whether it's actually, is it a nuke or is it like something being sent down from orbit, like a really, like one of the really big bots maybe. But like,
Mm-hmm.
you can imagine in the tech test, they wouldn't necessarily have shown people. You can imagine if like all the things close up and then it's like, it looks like a big like bomb and it's just like this huge thing comes down and then it's like mega crab, like
Yeah.
turns up out of nowhere and just and just like lasers you. I mean, like that would be so insane because there's something missing from the end of the animation for going MIA on the raid, right? Like there's definitely missing
Yeah.
because you
Feels
just
like it.
the raid just ends. So I think they don't want to spoil that necessarily. And there's like been loads of things that have been appearing over the past couple of days about just like the sizes of the different bots and like their new bots coming because they just released or at least they showcased or teased a new one in the trailer for release that they just put out, and the people are calling them different things that no one really knows what the official names of these things are. But there's I think this one is the Baron maybe because there are like husks for the Baron apparently because if you open certain ones up it'll say like Baron husk or whatever. So it's not the Queen but it's bigger.
I'm talking
So
about
it,
this.
which
Throw
one?
it up here. This thing.
Yes, this thing. This thing. So that's not the Queen. It's bigger than the Queen by quite a long way. Because the Queen would probably go up to its sort of legs. This thing is like twice the size. But
Here's
yeah,
the
you can see the
tiny.
Raiders like tiny at the bottom. But this isn't the biggest one either. Because there's other screenshots and there's videos of people and there's one that other people are calling the Emperor, which is in the background. That one. There you go. There's some of them there in the background, and these were in the game on the tech test too,
I
but
can't
they're part of
swear.
like in the middle. Have you got your gamma too high? It's like right in the center to the right of that chimney column.
That's right.
Higher, higher
Yeah, I
in the
must have
sky.
my gamma too high.
Can you not see that?
No, it's just all white basically. Let me try my other one
Can you
under.
turn the contrast down? Like, yeah, change monitor.
I got too many windows open.
Which-
Oh, I can
yeah.
clearly see it now. Oh my
Can
goodness,
you
it's
see it now?
crazy.
Yeah. And that was like part of like the skybox on one of the maps in Tech Test 2 because I've gone back and looked at and there was some clips of people seeing it and they were like, what the hell is that? And there was like two of them just miles in the distance. Like they're not part of the map or anything. They're just walking. It's like it's not even part of the map. Like it's crazy. It's so much fun. I love it. I actually love it. I really, really love it. So there's like these like mega monster bots. Like maybe one of those drops in on you, right? From an Arc Orbiter, whatever that is. That sounds like a spaceship. An Arc Orbiter is surely orbiting the planet, right? That must be it. If you turn the brightness down and turn the contrast up, that'll probably get you a good.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Look at
Uh,
that. It's humongous. It's absolutely humongous.
it is.
So people are calling that one the Emperor. So people think there's a queen, a baron, a king, and an emperor. So they think. No one really knows yet, but we'll see. I mean, I don't mind that there's certain ones that you're just not supposed to destroy. I think that's kind of okay. It's like in keeping with the world. You don't necessarily even have to fight this thing. The fact that it exists is just terrifying.
That's that's super interesting. Yeah.
It's so cool. It's so cool. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there you go. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, it's nuts. So like
Anyways,
I'm fascinated by the whole thing. I really am. And like the fact that there's these like mega creatures that we haven't even seen yet. We don't even know exactly which ones are going to be there, which ones you can fight, which ones you can't fight. There's like a new one in the trailer video with this guy, which is like bigger than the Queen, because the Queen's the biggest one we've fought so far as
hmm
the player base. Maybe this is the one that drops down at the end of the raid. Who knows? I don't
yeah,
know. Like it's just crazy. It's very cool.
it is cool. Um, sorry, it's freaking tab. I have like a
Yeah,
billion
Tab City.
windows. It's just like ah. What else? What else we got? So yeah, on that general note, because part of that discussion was about how he was telling like the journey of switching the game from what it used to be, because originally it was supposed to be a PvE looter shooter essentially, and basically the feedback that they got was like so middling that they felt like they had to do something to make this thing actually work,
Hmm.
to be a success. And so this is around the time when this person joined the team, this Alexander Grondel, the executive producer, and him and a couple other leads were, and as well as some various employees, big time extraction players. Like they loved extraction shooters, and this is like some time ago when there was like only a handful on the market, and they were
Right.
like, well, this feels like a great opportunity to do an extraction, because I think in particular they were kind of eyeing up the console market space, and so and they were also like fans of survival games, so they wanted to like incorporate that. So he sat down and made like this big map, sort so to speak, and had all these like diagrams and chart and not yeah I forget how he called it, but it was sort of just like mapping out like some of the best aspects about what they currently had. And so
Hmm.
they took all of that, kept the good stuff, and then developed this new extraction experience, which I imagine part of that had to have been fighting the arcs and like the world and whatnot. Excuse me. Because yeah, I mean the for me the art too, just like the art style works really well. Like I don't know, it's like yeah, I don't know, it's like sci-fi, but it's like decrepit and you know what I mean? Like it's just I don't know. It's just something about it. Just it feels like familiar, but also like foreign at the
Yeah.
same time.
It's a really nice blend. I love it. Apparently, a lot of these guys came from. I watched a video about like the history of Embark or whatever, and like
Hmm
so many people kind of got like semi not pushed out, but like well, a lot of them left Dice because of stuff that there was they just disagreed with management on various things, and
Yeah.
they ended up Embark ended up like scooping up a load of people who'd worked on like Battlefield Bad Company 2 and like some old classics. So they've got like really talented team of people.
Yeah.
The sort of only came about kind of by accident because Dice was being really annoying, and these people were just like, "Oh, we don't want to do this anymore," right? And so they ended up turning up on the market just when Embark needed some people to work with them. It was just fortuitous, right? Like these things, they just happen, right? You just have the right place, right time, and this is kind of what we got out of it, which is like pretty sick.
Yeah. So one of the things too that he was asked about was like solo queue, and he was like, well, the skill up person. He was like, well, are you ever gonna, he said, I think I know the answer, but are you ever gonna add solo queue? And he's like, no, but I think we have an offering for people who want that experience. And or or what he or no, I'm sorry, that I said that wrong. It was about PVE only. That was the question.
Ah,
And he's like, no, but I think we have something to offer. And he was like, oh really? He's like, yeah. And it's like in our game, it's not the focus isn't about necessarily the PVE combat. It's about building that tension. And he talked about how in other survival games, it's like they put a lot of like barriers in the way that like did help build that tension, but also um, just kind of like overall lessen the experience they were going for.
Mm.
Um, and so I mean, I can't remember the exact words, but to me, he made a pretty compelling argument because PvE does add to that tension. You know what I mean? Like if you strip that
Yeah.
away, like for me, I just don't think I could play like a PvE only extraction game. Like it just wouldn't. I don't know. Like off the surface level, it just sounds like such a hard sell because having that potential threat of someone just as powerful. Because if you're playing like a PvE game, it's like sure maybe you start off weak, but like ultimately the point of the game is to progress and get more powerful. You know what I mean? But it's like now that you're got players in the mix, it's like you have a counterpart to you as well. Someone else that's like
Yeah.
potentially just as equally threatening to you, or maybe even more threatening. It's like that unknown that tension gets out of there, and so I thought he made a pretty compelling argument, even though it was a very like corporate-y, it's like, well, yeah, we do, salesman-y type of. I thought it was actually pretty
Yeah.
compelling, so I'm very curious to see, how this game performs, like especially on console market.
Mm.
Because I think too, it's very interesting that solo queue was seems like a lot of people were teaming up, and I don't know. It makes me wonder how that all will perform.
Yeah, we'll see. Because again, framing out the game in a way of being like, we're hopeful and we're trying to rebuild and all this kind of stuff. It like rather than it sort of being a mantra of like every man for himself, like Tarkov.
Exactly.
You're trying
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
escape and it's you're just on your own and you can't trust anybody. It's sort of a different thing of like, oh, well, we're all from Speranza. We're all just trying to get resources. Ark's the real enemy.
Yeah.
It's just like mentally that changes people's behavior a bit.
Yeah. I think
Just
so.
because people want to be immersed in the worlds, right? Like you want to be part of that world, and some people will betray or whatever, and that's like just part and parcel of the way it goes. But I think people are more likely to help each other, especially when, as I say, the PvE element's quite hard. Like you just said about PvE, I mean, the one that comes to mind, the best example of this is still Helldivers, right? Like if you do want a PvE experience, you have to change the structure of the game quite significantly. Helldivers is PvE only, and is technically an extraction shooter in theory, but that's very like mission orientated. It's like very group orientated. It's like
Hmm.
it's very different. You're not really like it's not a looter game. Like yeah, there's things you
Yeah.
can pick up
Yeah.
doodads to like get some more upgrades or whatever, but it's not like a looter game. So
No.
it's a bit different. So you can have that can still be tense and difficult. Like the AI has to be kind of swarming you, and like a lot of them. That's sort of how
Hmm.
they deal with it in Helldivers. But again, even with that, it's like as I've said before, I kind of got to 100 hours, 140 hours, 150 hours. And I'm just kind of like, yeah, like it's cool. I'm like kind of done with the
Yeah.
loop now, sort of thing. I
Yeah.
think only the PvP element will keep you for longer, even if it maybe does put some people off. Um, you're only going to have that kind of like longevity, I think. I mean, some people will still play Helldivers now, so I don't know. What do I know, right?
Yeah.
It's obviously personal preference, but it's just interesting. It's interesting to see how it will pan out. Um, but yeah, I mean the E bit at least is pretty interesting within Arc, and I think because most of the guns are loud and stuff, it's a bit different to something like Tarkov. You can kind of hear where the fights are
Mm.
happening most of the time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of AI around, and they do that classic thing we've talked about a billion times of the Daisy zombies. What's the function? Well, it's not really to kill you, even though they do at the beginning. It's to show other
Hmm.
people that you're there, and they kind of signpost you. And it's what scavs do in Tarkov. They shoot at you and they shout and they say, PMC, get Kepka and all this stuff, right? And they've seen another player. Was that me? Oh no, they're not shouting at me. It's someone else. They're targeting somebody else. There must be someone over there giving information away. But because they're not bound by these like real things in many ways, they're free to do whatever, and they've got like the bots with the little lights on and stuff, so you can kind of read those, the information they give away there, and obviously gunshots because suppressors are quite rare and hard to find. There's a lot of cool mechanics they've got there to allow you to avoid the fights actually if you want to, which in this context is kind of more important. It's not just there's some shots, I'm going to beeline myself towards the fight. It's like, I can hear people fighting, so I'm going to go like that way because I want to go to loot here. I don't necessarily just want to like shoot up people with basic shields and whatever, like the same crappy level 2 gun that I've got.
Yeah. I think one thing too that helps with this because I kind of, I think still I'm holding out hope for an extraction shooter of some kind or an extraction shooter derivative that has the cycle type of gameplay features. You know what I mean? Sorry, you're laughing at my cat's tail getting in front of the
I am,
camera.
yeah.
Yeah, she's being a little needy right now. She wants some pets, but where like there is no end time on the map slash raid. Like you just,
Mm.
in theory, you could play forever. I really find that compelling, and like people are constantly coming and going. But I think with this game, because the maps feel so big, like I don't know how big they actually are, but they feel very big. Like there is a smaller map, but even that map felt fairly big. Um, and there's so much verticality. Like I don't know, it just feels like you can spend like 10 to 15 minutes like fighting PvE before you ever see a player. Which I
Yeah.
like that because I feel like in some other extraction games, it's like it feels like so formulaic. Like I'm playing factory every raid. Like oh, there's a spawn here, and it's like you end up getting into this like mindset where it's like okay, I'm not supposed to loot till I kill my first spawn, and then it's like now I can go to the point of interest next to me and then loot because otherwise you end up getting ratted on or you surprise each other. It's just I don't know. It makes it feel more
Yeah.
organic, despite it still being like boom, you spawn in. There's people also spawning in, and there is like I think yeah. I mean you do get spawned in delayed occasionally. At least on solo, I'm
Mm.
pretty sure that's the case. So we'll
Yeah.
see. Um, so about the wipes, how they're doing it, the expeditions, I think they're calling it. Just a
Yeah.
quick recap. It's optional and it's something you gotta like invest into, and you get like a minor bonus, and then you start back over. It's a self-selective wipe process. So apparently you're building like a rail cart basically, because within the city
Oh.
Speranza, there's like all these underground tunnels, and basically nobody knows where they lead to or what's there. So the idea is like you're going on a expedition. They're like sending you out, and that's kind of like how you end up wiping yourself. Become a new character or whatever. So I think that's kind of interesting, kind of cool. I mean, I don't know what exactly if it's just like a little lore tidbit or how much that actually matters in gameplay and whatnot. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, let me see if I can find this because I was reading about this the other day. So if you go onto the projects page on Arc Raiders itself,
Mm-hmm.
it says it. Oh, sorry, this is the Arc Raiders fandom. There's one on the actual arcraiders.com. Here we go. So the expedition project, it says, it says on here, the tunnel networks connected to Speranza are vast but largely unexplored or inaccessible. Most survivors stay within their settlements, but like the raiders who dare to venture topside, there are those who dare to venture even further. Once the Rust Belt has given all it can offer, some raiders choose to set out beyond the borders of what they know. As of now, this has always been a one-way trip. In the full game, players will have access to a feature called Projects. At level 20, the first major project is the Expedition Project. On the completion, this project makes the character reset available. If the player completes the reset, they'll be able to do so again as long as they complete another of these projects. And then this is the 8-week period that we talked about last time. But it's just quite interesting that it talks at the beginning about the fact that you're going to be like going into the tunnels. And what did you say it was? Some kind of like maybe like a
A
cart or
rail
something like
cart, like you
that?
build
Yeah.
like some type of cart on a rail.
Yeah, there's like a couple of pictures, and it says here, so there's like, I think the first is actually available even. So it's October the 30th to December the 14th. This is caravan construction and supply phases available. Then December the 15th to the 20th is finalization phase opens. December the 21st, the completed caravan departs. This is on, do you want the link to this?
Sure.
It is, I'll just put it in the notes. There you go. In the doc. So it should be there. So yeah, and there's like a bunch of different screenshots. So on the first one, it says, actually, no, sorry, this isn't even a screenshot. This is a video. So it says, for the expedition project, it says, expeditions are perilous. Embark on a dangerous expedition beyond the Rust Belt. Your raider will carry all their possessions into the unknown beyond the Rust Belt. In return, your next raider gains a unique edge that lasts until the next expedition departs. So it sounds like you get like a one-time perk for the next 8 weeks.
Hmm.
And if you go through the video, it then shows you what the requirements are, at least for the first section. So go to project. So foundations, there's 6 sections to it. You can see in the upper left.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Metal
So
parts.
foundation, building the base structure and the frame of the caravan, metal, rubber, plastic, steel springs. Those are like mostly basic things. So obviously that's probably the easiest one. Then I can't seem to skip this forward for some reason, but so then you commit the resource. It looks like it's got partial hand in,
Oh yeah, that's weird.
which is obviously super nice quality of life right out the gate from these guys. And then next step is core systems. And this is only step 2, and it looks like this steps up quite a lot. Like 5 wires, 10 batteries, 30 arc alloy, and 2 cooling fans. I'm sure it gets incrementally more annoying from there. I can only imagine. So, yeah, we'll see. It says, what do you keep, what do you lose? You'll lose anything inherent to character progression, level, skills, item, inventory, workshop, crafting, etc. Players will keep cosmetics, awards, achievements, and rankings. Anything rooted solely in the metagame or involving real money will be preserved. For convenience, expedition players will be able to skip the majority of the onboarding and tutorial steps. This being things like unlocking certain features, maps, etc. as they play through the early game. These will just be available from the start of a fresh reset. Now, aside from players who like the thrill of a fresh start, why would you really give up all of your stuff? Permanent unlock accounts. It says we're still finalising the benefits. Permanent unlock accounts for each completed edition. Unique cosmetic awards. Account buffs applied for the duration of the following cycle. So for the 8-week period. And sequential completions increase the magnitude of these buffs up to a limit. So we'll have to see. I mean, people could end up being like the sweaty try hard, like, you know, expedition completioners every single time, and they're like uber powerful. I don't know. We'll see. One point to drive home: we're being very careful about the nature of these benefits. Completing a reset should never give a player a power or combat advantage over anyone who is not. So, you know, they're thinking about it already. Initially, they'll centre around cosmetics and bragging rights, quality of life, and smoothing out some aspects of progression for those who have gone through a reset. There you go. It's cool. It's pretty cool. I mean, I'm intrigued to see what they come up with. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
What else as we wrap up here? So he did get asked about like marathon, because one of the things they talked about was like, you know, how they were changing changes in the game into an extraction shooter, and at the time there wasn't like a lot on the market, and then suddenly, as you know, they're getting closer to you know, as they're doing these tests and whatnot, there's a lot more extraction stuff on the market, so they're, you know, a little worried. And like one of the things they were talking about was like, what do you think about Marathon? You know, have you seen it? And basically, he was like, yeah. You know, he didn't get to play it, but from what he saw, he was like, you know, it looks like a different pace, a different focus. Like he felt like possibly, based off his impressions, loot was like more important in Arc Raiders, whereas like in Marathon, it was kind of more like combat oriented and focus, which I think kind of rings true from what I can gather. Um, but yeah, overall, I mean, you know, he's like he had a lot of like respect for Bungie and you know those devs. Like he was a huge Destiny player, he said. So he thinks that both can exist and they'll occupy their own niches within the space, which I definitely think. I don't know. I'm just like super curious to see like a proper full blown extraction shooter be like the next battle royale. You know what I mean? Like you know how like PUBG came out and was like on
Yeah.
PC and was a thing for a while, and then eventually like Fortnite basically broke through. I mean that was probably like the peak
Hmm.
of gaming. I would imagine. I mean, it had to been up there, like esports, everything, the bubbles, and
Yeah.
so I'm just like kind of curious if there's a similar. Probably won't be as big, but I feel like there's something there. You know, I would like for more people to experience what an extraction shooter has to offer because it's like it's very unique. You know, you don't have to deal with 24 hours grind that is like a survival game where you just have to you know dedicate your whole life to for however long. And I feel like you get a lot of that similar stuff. I might have to take
Yeah.
my cat out. She's like jumping on stuff.
Yeah,
She's going crazy.
Yeah, we'll see. I think for as far as marathon's concerned, I think it's unfortunate for them that A, so many bad things happen to them, and then secondly, the fact that they're basically on top of Arc Raiders now, which is not how they'd originally planned it to be. So that's a
Yeah,
tough position for them to be in.
yeah,
If I was them, I'd be very, very concerned. I know there's playtests going on, secret playtests at the moment. People are, I don't know, playing and they're figuring stuff out. I'm just not like Arc Raiders is just so good in so many ways. It's I don't know. It's going to be very very tough for them to do anything. I think they almost would be better off just like waiting a while and like letting at least the hype of it to blow over in some ways and then releasing later. I think, but I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell. Time will tell. I mean, let's put it this way. I'm excited about one and not the other. So,
yeah, yeah. No, I feel you. Just as the final thing, and then we'll wrap up this section. And I just do want to ask you a question. Uh, Before that, possible third game they were talking about, because this is technically Embark's second game, and it's also their second live service game, which is kind of a big deal because they are a smaller studio. So they were, he was talking about how people from the finals team were kind of like pulled over to help out, and get this thing kind of like on, finished and ready for certain milestones like tests and whatnot. Which he also said, conversely, they did the same. They would also like go help the finals to like polish up certain stuff of that game. So I thought that was cool. There's a lot of like
yeah,
crossover and but yeah, they were talking about like they was like a little uneasy because running a small studio, running two separate live service games, that's not no small
yeah.
task. But it does make certain parts of that easier because they have direct experience and whatnot. Um, but yeah, possible third game. Like, I mean, I played the finals. I thought it was a good game. It wasn't really what I was looking for at the time, but I thought it was like a good game. So
People seem to like it. I know Jesse's been playing a lot of it actually, just in his kind
oh
of like
yeah,
downtime. Just arena game. I've never played it. Maybe I should give it a go. Just at least just to like experience it before Arc Raiders, and just like
yeah, it
see
could
the
be worth.
world, and maybe there's some like interesting lore, links between the two. I literally never ended up picking it up. I don't know why really. It's just lack of time, I think, more than anything else.
Yeah, it's also
Did they
just
say
kind
about
of like
what third game it might be, by the way? Sorry
no,
to cut you off.
they were just saying it's like possible because they always want,
Okay.
they're ambitious, I mean,
Hmm.
so yeah, motivated and ambitious.
Yeah, for sure. Like morale must be riding really high, right? Having the reception that they're getting right now, like everyone's like waiting. I don't know how many units these guys are going to ship, but they're going to absolutely like bust the numbers, I think, on this thing.
I think they're gonna do pretty good. Yeah, I mean they're obviously they just want everything to be fixed out. That was one of
Yeah.
the things that I did skip over was performance. There was a few bugs on both low end machines and high end machines, so they're like really hoping they
Hmm.
get all that ironed out, and they might even be able to crank out an even lower performance mode for various users. So
Cool.
yeah, that'd be great. I'm just yeah, I'm
Yeah.
really, I'm with you. I mean, I'm just kind of like yeah.
If they keep going,
Is
you're going
it
to be
the
able to run it
30th?
on
Yep.
like a 10-year-old Android. If they keep going with the performance at this point,
Imagine. No, I
it's
was gonna
insane.
ask you because that was pretty much all the notes I had. Um,
Hmm.
what do you think makes Arc Raiders so compelling as it is right now? I mean, it obviously it's the game's not out and is not finalized, but like there seems to be a certain segment of the gaming community that is pretty freaking hype about it. What do you think is that doing carrying that?
I think it's like many things in life, which is the very, very fine balance between familiar yet with a twist. I
Hmm.
think a lot of these games, and the cycle suffered from this a little bit, which is the world felt like the cycle was quite good, but the world felt very artificial in
Yeah.
many ways. And the enemies were sort of like, again, felt a bit artificial. It's just like, oh, they're like random alien things. You couldn't really figure out, there's no real intuition there. It's just like, oh, they just like do stuff, and you have to just get like poisoned at one time or like flamed by one time, and you're like, okay, now I know how to kill these things. And but all the items as well, a lot of the items just kind of like, do I want this? Like, what's this for? Like, is this It's like random microscopes and stuff like this. Just like, is this good? Is this not good? Not really any clue as to what it is, what it might be. Whereas in Ark, it rides that line because it's just like, well, all the enemies, I kind of know what they are when I see them already.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I've never seen this thing before, but I already know what it does just based on how it
That's
looks.
that's true.
All of the loot, I'm like also roughly know what it is based on what it says and what it might be used for as well. Yeah, there are some things that are not like that, but it's just, you kill a bot like one of the bigger bots, or you go into one of the husks and you get like Arc Performance steel out of it, and you're like, okay, that sounds pretty decent, right? It's like that's like special Arc material. It's like a more enhanced version of something that humanity probably can't make. Like your brain just makes that connection
Yeah.
without you really having to think about it. It's like it's a quadcopter with a machine gun on it. It's just like, okay, like I know what this is. You see
Yeah,
it, you hear it, like you know what it is already, right? It's like,
yeah.
oh, spider mommy. It's just like, okay, that thing's probably going to laser me out of out of the country in 2 seconds if it spots me, right? It's just like, how it's going to move. I don't know. I think there's a very fine line between those two things about stuff being new, stuff being familiar. Having a twist on something familiar is what people liked psychologically. Pretty much in every, I've told this story before. There's like the Spotify story, right, where they were like trying to make the For You playlist,
Yeah.
and they couldn't do it, and like everybody hated it, whatever. And then somebody accidentally mixed the like most popular tracks with the new tracks in, and people like loved it, and they
Yeah.
absolutely loved it. And it was like it was an accident in coding, because people don't want to be like, or they want to be fed all new stuff all the time. It's too much. It's too much for
Yeah.
the brain. It was like familiar stuff sprinkled with things that are novel and interesting. Like that's what gets people going. Because if there's not enough interesting stuff, then it's all old stuff. Then it's too boring, right? So it's like it's a
Yes.
very, very fine line between these two things, and I think. And in some ways, like, we want to say, and I think they've done a good job. They're thinking about it a lot, but like a lot of these dev teams do think about it a lot as well. And it also doesn't work out for them either, because it's hard to know, if you just start with a blank canvas, it's hard to sort of, I know people map out systems and stuff, but it's very difficult to get an idea on what that is going to feel like to play, to experience through a 5 hour period of game playing or whatever, or like an evening. It's hard to design it that way round. You're like, oh, well, they've got these systems, and this is what needs to happen, and here's the levels, and da da da. And it's almost feels like one of those things where it's like the petri dish of modding, sort of, in a different scale. So you have like 1,000 people make mods for some game, and 999 of them suck, and one of them just so happens, almost by accident, to have like the perfect combination of whatever,
Yeah.
and then you end up with Dota 2, or you end up with I don't know, like whatever it may be. There's lots of games, DayZ, and all these games that have come out mods, and it's sort of the same thing. It's like, well, you got to have Tarkov's come and done something actually miraculous from the get-go, which is quite surprising. And then you've had lots of people try to copy it, and we've had like the Hazard Zone game, and we've had DMZ, and we've had the Cycle, and we've had Marauders, and we've had
5 billion mobile
what else? Yeah,
Chinese clones.
exactly. And they've all tried to do different things, and some good, some bad, some tests, some not. Now we've got Marathon, and we've got Arc Raiders, Marathon test. The Arc Raiders guys did say somewhere that the Marathon test couldn't have come at a better time. In some ways, like it was a great A/B test, because not like they're modeling their game off of Marathon or anything, but they saw some of the stuff that they had done that did not work. And that people hated, and could kind of compare that to what they were doing and going, okay, no, I think this is we're along the right lines, or maybe we tweak that or whatever. Like I think it was useful to them. So it's that thing of, you have to be careful and very thoughtful about the process, but also you also just kind of have to be a bit lucky, I think. And getting that balance is like super hard. It's almost impossible actually to get that feel. You can't program the feel. It's a net result of all the systems that you do. It's like, sometimes we have conversations with chat about like, well, what is there to do in the end game of whatever it might be, and I'm just like, well, it's it's this and that and the other, and people are like, well, is that really any different to Tarkov? Like once you've unlocked all the stuff, like what is there to really do other than just play? It's just like, I don't know, man, it feels different. Like it's like you can't really put your finger on exactly why one's good and why one isn't good. It's like it's so hard to know, really. It's so difficult. So I think it's the familiarity combined with the twist thing. It's like you're in a human universe. Like Marathon's almost too different in some ways, right? So the enemies aren't really very obvious as to what they are when you see them. They're like, oh, it's all robots, that's fine. You're in like a colony in the far future. Everything's 3D printed. You yourself are not really a human. You're like printed cyborg type thing. All the loot, you don't really know what it is either. There's like too much. It's like there's so much is different. It's all different. It's all new. It's all completely different. Whereas like Arc Raiders is like, you're on Earth. You're a person. living in a different timeline where bad things
Yeah.
have happened and the enemies are conceivable.
Yeah.
It's very immersive. It's a very immersive world, and it makes logical sense to be there and exist within it without it necessarily having to be like anything you've ever experienced. And like just the references they put in about like, oh, there's a it's like we were saying before about the Ark Orbiter, and I'm just like, there must be some space stations. There's like more to this. It feels like it's this big, well thought out world. Everything's like seamless and coherent. In Marathon, I don't really know what I'm there for, other than like I'm a corporate drone going to just complete stuff because they want things from the surface.
Yeah.
But I don't know like why am I here otherwise? So it was like Ark's like gives you this like beautiful introduction, and here's the underground city, and humanity's fighting against the bots, and like yes, people fight each other at the top, but really Ark's the real enemy, and like, it's like they've got all these like cinematics and cutscenes, and it just makes you connected to the world and want to play. It's cool. It's a bit like again like Helldivers. But like Helldivers, it's got amazing intro cutscenes. The music is beautiful in Helldivers, it's amazing. The all the gung ho bravado, whatever, and then you turn up, and then when you die as a Helldiver, you just come back as another one. It's like, and that's like tongue in cheek, but it's different. But it's the same sort of design philosophy in many ways. It feels a lot like Helldivers in some ways, even though they're completely different games. I know third person goes a long way to make that feeling similar, but it feels like that sort of looser design philosophy in some ways of like not getting pigeonholed down the classic Tarkov game design traps is sort of a bit looser than it has been in others.
I just realized I'm not recording. I'm streaming instead.
I'm recording, it's cool.
Yeah, that's so funny. Um anyways,
I think it's
yeah.
that though. Familiarity mixed with the novelness of the world they've made.
Yeah, that is I definitely see that and feel that strongly. And there was something I was going to say, but then I got myself distracted. I don't know. It's just oh, that's what I was going to say. I think it's super amazing that Arc Raiders is looking promising as it is, considering what it's gone through. Because usually, when you hear things like, "Oh, we've completely changed the design of our game. We're now jumping to extraction shooter," that's usually when red flags start going up, for these types of projects. Because anything that has "quote unquote" trouble development is like red flag city. Like
Mm-hmm.
there was a game that came out recently, Bloodline, uh, Vampire Bloodlines Masquerade 2 or something, and it's
Right.
like a sequel to like the more uh you know cult classic Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines, and it's just like basically went through like development hell. It's like switched studio hands multiple times, and it's come out and it's like basically nothing what the original vision was, and it's basically an
Mm.
action RPG, and it's if you're like a hardcore fan, you're probably gonna hate it, and it's just like okay if you want like to play like a vampire game, and so yeah, it's actually really amazing to me that they were able to like take the feedback they got from the early playtest back when it was like PvE looter shooter, and transition to something that seems to have captured a lot of people's interest.
Yeah, I genuinely believe, and this is absolutely no disrespect to any of the devs whatsoever, but I
Hmm.
genuinely believe there is as much luck as judgment in these things. I really do.
Yeah.
It needs 8 studios to try and fail, and one of them will make something good. Like it's hard, it's just really hard to make something compelling, especially as the bars got higher and higher and higher.
Yeah, that's so
You've got
true.
like
Yeah.
indie games out the wazoo now. People won't just accept any old thing. You've not just got like 3 developers making all the games. It's there's so much competition and people expect so much out of these things. It's like, oh, it needs to be kind of like new player friendly, and you want to be able to play with your friends, but also solo if you feel like it. And it's going to be a 1,000 hour plus game for those people who really want to be hardcore about it. It's like, it's a lot of asks, honestly, for these
Yeah.
new games. It's tough. It's really, really tough. So yeah, we'll see. But I mean, it looks cool to me. It's got enough interesting stuff in there, like the economy as well. That's what I quite like. I like the looting. I think the looting makes sense. The fact you can break stuff down into other things that also gives you a bit of an idea as to what those things are as well. It's like, oh, this thing breaks down into like processors. Okay, well, this is, you know, I sort of know what this is now. There's like lots of ways that the game tells you what stuff is. And as I said last time when we talked about Arc Raiders, the fact that people just open the game up, and then it just runs well, is a
That goes a
huge
long
sigh of
way.
relief for PC players.
Yeah.
Honestly, like every game, that's come out in my recent memory, I have to open it up. We have to look at okay, what's the frame rate when I go in? Okay, what do I need to change? Like, what's the options? Have they put everything in? Do you have the new DLSS? Can I change this, that, and the other? It's a bit painful. So the fact that it just like you just open it up, you just don't worry about the performance of the hardware, and you just play. You just play the damn video game. It's a godsend. It really is. I think a lot that goes a long way to building a very good sentiment for it. And it looks beautiful at the same time. It's not like it looks like, it's like, oh, the game plays really well. Well, it's BattleBit, so what do you expect? It's like the game looks like a AAA. Like it's absolutely gorgeous in 2025 and runs nicely, so it's amazing. I think they've literally just put up preloads for the game on Steam, so you can now pre-download. I actually did it this morning, so you can pre-download Arc Raiders, and it is Oh, maybe it won't tell me because it's not actually installed. I saw it somewhere else. I don't know where it is, but anyway, I think it's 25 gigabytes, 28 gigabytes, something along those lines. It's around 30 roughly, which for a modern title like that, again, it's pretty small. They've got bigger programs than that installed on my PC. It's kind of insane. Like CS2 is 52 gig, so it's kind of twice the size. Like the one that makes me just upset, and I know it's all skins and stuff, but like the fact that Dota 2 is like 59 gig. I've complained about this before. Like it's actually obnoxious. Like, a game like Dota 2 should not take up 60 gigabytes of my hard drive. That's an enormous amount of data.
Yeah.
So Arc Raiders is like half the size of either CS2 or Dota, which is a testament to how well they've just optimized everything, including the downloads. Like some of these single player ones are like absolutely insane. Which was the one that I had to. I literally had to buy a new hard drive when I played Final Fantasy 15. Let's see. Actually, I don't think you can do. Yeah. So they've made it better now. That's 86 gig. That's after they've like optimized it a lot. When I first installed that, it was 125 gigabytes.
Wow, that's crazy.
And I was like, I just don't have that kind of space. I had to buy a new disc.
Yeah.
I think I bought like a terabyte or two terabyte M2 or something, and I was just like, okay.
Just be done with it.
Yeah. So yeah, the performance thing as well. Like, there's just so many things it gets right. So many things, so many aspects to it. So many aspects.
Speaking of performance, tell me about. I did see this briefly, this next topic, but NVIDIA data center in space? Like, what did...
Yeah, this is like a random thing for the end, just because we're talking about space and sci-fi and all this stuff with Arc Raiders, and it's just like something I saw around on the internet. And I know it's getting, there's a lot of people talking about it. It's like a viral post that's come out from an NVIDIA, I think it's on NVIDIA startup or NVIDIA associated startup called StarCloud. So I don't think it's like really, really early, this thing, but okay. It's less of, wow, this is awesome. We're going to have data centers in space and it's going to be sick. Because practicalities aside, I just love the fact that it's even just like conceivable. It's more the fact that it's like people are just like, this is like our stretch projects.
Yeah.
As like the human race. It's like this is like pretty awesome. I just really, really, really like the idea of it, and like some of the graphics there is just like super, super cool. So the idea, generally speaking, is we're building out like massive AI infrastructure at the moment. I say we, like
what the
companies. Yeah, that's the one that's amazing. That's the one that's really, really sick. So we're building out humanity is building out enormous AI data center compute capacity, right? And you have to power that somehow. And I think the power problem becomes the bottleneck, I think, first before pretty much anything else. There's people talking about water, water usage and power usage, but power usage really is the issue because we've got to get it from somewhere, and you need a lot of solar paneling if you're going to do it that way. It needs a huge area, and it's not. It's sort of weather dependent. Obviously, different places, better or worse. But typically, the places that are hot then need more cooling. So it's kind of crazy. Those things sort of are like, it's like the wrong way around kind of thing. It's like the hot places with the good sun well, they're kind of hot and have good sun. They're sort of, those two things are linked together, but then you need more cooling because they're hot. So if you put it in, the Antarctic, well, how are you going to power it? It's like this sort of weird catch-22.
Yep.
But like, we don't really want to, burn more fossil fuels particularly, but then nuclear power stations take an eternity to build. So this was like, the idea behind this is basically to launch. It's like a module. You send up, and it's got the bunch of compute in there. And then when it's in space, it then unfurls like 4 kilometer of solar panels, which powers this thing. Because in space, right, you don't have any clouds. There's no cloud coverage or anything, so you can just be in sunlight the whole time. Obviously, angles dependent, and maybe the Earth gets in the way. And is this thing going to turn constantly? Like, I'm not sure. Maybe. And then how are you going to do micro adjustments? Like, there's a lot of practical things. What about space debris? There's like a lot of practical things that make this project like kind of infeasible in some ways, but it's still kind of sick. And then like the other part of it is, again, we were talking about like cooling, right? So it's like there's energy and then there's cooling. So okay, we've got free energy in space, that's fine. And then you've got the cooling element, which in space is actually kind of hard because like there's sort of misconceptions about space, because space is like quote unquote very, very cold. But the issue with space is there's also nothing really there. So the stuff that is there is cold, sort of technically speaking, but because there's nothing there, it acts as a very good insulator. So the only way that you can get rid of stuff is through radiation. It's the only way you can really get rid of energy. It's the only way you can really move. It's the only way you can move energy in space is radiation. That's how it gets here from the sun in the first place. So you have to radiate away heat in some way. But what you can basically do is like you can radiate heat if you can convert it to infrared and then radiate it out the back of the paneling. You effectively have like an infinite heat sink for sending stuff away. As long as you have a way to send infrared radiation out into space, well, it never comes back. It never heats up the surrounding medium. It's just gone. It's just gone off into the ether of space for all eternity. Goodbye. It's gone. So you've kind of like got infinite energy and an infinite source of cooling, kind of, if you do it right. So that's sort of the idea. Obviously, again, the practical implications are like insane on this. But the fact that people are like starting to think about ideas like this,
Yeah.
I just think it's awesome. I think it's awesome because I'm like very much of the opinion these days. The more I read and scroll around on social media, the more stuff I see that's like everything's terrible and everything sucks. And some things do suck. This is true. But I've seen a couple of posts and it's just like I don't know, like trying to be like optimistic about the future and stuff. There's like there's cool, there's bad stuff and there's cool stuff, and that's kind of always the way things have been. And I feel that life is probably just better if you're kind of like looking to the future and like being excited about like cool stuff. You can't really do much about the crappy stuff most of the time.
Yeah, especially
It just
if you have no
exists.
control. Yeah.
It just exists and damages your mental health.
Yeah.
And there's not really anything you can even do about it. But just like focusing more on like the cool things that are happening. I'm like, this is sick. Like I don't know. I'm quite optimistic about this stuff. I was talking to my folks the other day because we were talking about all sorts of like problems and this, that, and the other, and I was like talking about AI and about how there's good and bad to it, and again it's like double-edged sword like everything, but it's a tool ultimately. But I was like reading these articles about how they might actually make some leaps with fusion power because of AI, right? You can control the the superconducting magnets using some kind of neural network, right? Like the term AI is like kind of whatever, right? But like large sample size data collection neural net that then controls the superconducting magnets in a more meticulous way than you can do with like kind of like a scripted algorithm is an amazing use of this type of thing that could end up actually solving the problem. In many ways, it's very hard to contain the plasma, which in and of itself might fix the energy issue. So I don't know. Like there's lots of awesome stuff I think out there in the world, and I think we as a people need to focus more on the awesome stuff and not be so doomer about life, because things are pretty cool. There was such a cool Twitter post I saw and it was just titled like "Life is electric," just like all this cool stuff happening, and I was like, hell yeah, we should think more like that. Like it's we should just be positive and happy about stuff. We've got. I can't remember what the whole thing was. Just like you can start a business on your mobile phone in your sitting room, and you can speak to another human being on the other side of the planet with like 100 milliseconds of delay. It's like it's insane. It's insane. There's so many insane things happening. And then I saw this and was just like, I'm gonna send like NVIDIA GPUs into orbit for whatever reason. Like this is good. This is awesome. Like what the hell? It's just yeah, it's just kind of wild. It's just kind of wild to me.
Yeah. I've been watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Are you familiar with that
I'm
show?
familiar with it, but I've not seen much of it.
Okay. And a lot of the tech there is from like the early 2000s, like,
Mm.
late 90s. And, so they got like the big giant tube monitors and computers and everything's like so dated. It's kind of crazy to think about. Like, that was like 25 years ago, 20 years ago,
It's not even
25 years
that
ago.
long ago,
It
really.
really wasn't that long ago. And like technology's already advanced and changed so much. And now we're talking about putting data centers in space with 4 kilometers in length of solar panels. Like, it's, I don't know. It's just like when it's like almost like seeing this. It just looks like something out of like a sci-fi movie. But like it's here.
Yeah,
It's like I'm living it. It's kind of crazy.
yeah. It is kind of mad. It actually is kind of mad.
Yeah.
Like when all the AI stuff was kicking off in the first place, I watched a bunch of videos just trying to understand like what was actually happening. And there's like neural networks have been known about for a while. But it's one of those things where you just think about like the concept and you're like, well, okay, if you could somehow take a system like theoretically and you could feed it with, 100 billion points of information, and then you can cross all those over in a neural network and put it in a dimension, an array with like 3 million dimensions in it, and then like compute a bunch of stuff and predict the next thing. Like theoretically speaking, that would actually work. And it's just like, okay, well, that's fine. But the amount of power you need, computer power you need to do this thing is just like ridiculous. And then like a few decades pass, and then all of a sudden people are just like, we could just do that now. Like that
Yeah.
actually works now. Like like it's kind of an insane. It's like an insane science fiction thing.
Yeah.
And then with people writing about it in like the 70s and the 80s, you could build like small ones in the 80s where they would do like very basic stuff, and it would train itself to recognize like a face, like the sort of the cross shape of the eyes and the nose and stuff. But that's kind of as far as it wasn't useful for anything. And then you give it, and then there's a couple of years, a couple of decades, and an exponential compute power increase, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh shit, this works now. Oh crap! Like yeah, and the data's available too because it's all on the web, so you can just access huge amounts of information because it's all saved digitally, like publicly, and so now you can like feed the beast, and then there's enough compute power to actually like get an output, and it's just like, oh, this actually works. Crazy. This is like it's sci-fi. It's like it's crazy sci-fi. We live in
Yeah.
the future. It's mad. It's actually mad.
I was thinking a similar scenario or analogy. Where, like, imagine, you're like in the, I don't know, 60s or 70s, back when like space was like the new frontier, and all this, like, it's like we sent people to the moon, and blah blah blah, and it's just like now, like, I remember learning about, like Neil Armstrong, and whatever the Russian, I don't know, Yuri, whatever, and just like, yeah. So what, like, yeah, we got NASA nowadays. You know what I mean? It's just like space stuff going in space isn't like that crazy. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like, but I imagine if you were living it at the time, like, I bet it was just like bonkers. Because like 20 years ago, I mean, that was like what, post industrial revolution, World War II type stuff, maybe. Like, technology, very different.
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy
Yeah. Yeah.
how
Absolutely.
much stuff has like accelerated.
Yeah. It is wild. Like there's so much stuff up there now. There's like rocket launches constantly. It's like huge satellite networks, and what was the latest one? There was like a mission. I think there was a mission. That's what it was. NASA doing this test mission, I think, round the moon. I think is the next one. They're doing a test one to go round the back of the moon and come back, and then they're going to do it manned. I think. Um, it was almost more of like a radiation spaceflight test just to see what happens. So we're going to take. It's like actually kind of body horror almost level where they're going to take like biopsies of the astronauts and then see what happens to the cells on Earth, and then send the
Oh,
people off,
whoa.
or send the cells off. I can't remember which way around it was going to be. I'm not sure. But there was going to be it was going to be a manned one. It's like planned or something. But yeah, the fact that there's like so much space stuff coming now, it's like it is wild because also now with these kind of like AIs,
Mm-hmm.
at least these different personas or whatever, you can like send. Oh, I know it's sort of there's a dark path, right? Where there's a recipe for disaster, this stuff, but like you can they act with enough agency at this point that you can just like install one into a system and it will act in the way that it's, they're general enough to come up with like a reasonable response. Like, they may not necessarily be as good as a person at doing various things, but to like control a lunar lander and something bad happens, right? They're like able to recognize enough. They're flexible enough. This is what I'm trying to say. They're flexible enough to like do way more things than we could before. And they're much more like autonomous in many ways. That era of autonomous probes being sent out into the universe, whatever, to go and like collect information and come back is it's not like it's not like feasible. It's like it's within the realms of possibility. That's kind of what sparked my whole thought process about this off again, was like seeing this thing and all the people being like, oh yeah, well you can't do this and micro and then just space debris and like, oh, it's not going to work and yada yada. Have you even done the calculation? I'm just like, yeah, but just the fact that like people are even like thinking about this.
Yeah.
Like this is like, hey guys, let's try this thing. It's like, oh, we send stuff to space all the time now. Like it's not really that big of a deal. The space, it's like price per kilo or whatever has like dropped dramatically since satellites been sent up continuously by SpaceX and NASA and the Chinese guys and India and whoever else, right? There's like lots of people sending stuff up all the time now. So it's like not as hard as it was. People driving forward the tech to be able to reuse rockets and all sorts of things. It's like it's just yeah, it's wild. It is wild, and it's cool because I like sci-fi. Sci-fi is about it's about hope ultimately and pushing the frontier. I think it's awesome. So I remain hopeful. As many as there are crappy things that happen and many problems, there's still awesome stuff out there to focus on instead.
Yeah. Yeah, it's easy to only look at the negatives. I mean, like truthfully, when I first saw this, I was like, oh man, why does Nvidia gotta be sending stuff? Why does it gotta be Nvidia? Why can't it be like a startup company? Like just some other entity. But yeah, it is very cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think Star. I know that like, well, you gotta. Who else's tech are you gonna send up?
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
it was
kind
either
of
going to
the
be
thing.
NASA or SpaceX. You know what I mean? It's like definitely like wishful thinking. Like, I mean,
Yeah, because they're back. I mean, yeah, so it's backed by Nvidia. I think, like, yeah, I know it's backed by them. It's got to be because you got to have stupid money to send this stuff up into space and even think that this
yeah,
project's even going to work, right?
yeah.
Um,
No small
so
feat, that's for sure. So,
yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah, no, it's really cool. Maybe one day I mean, I've always thought that would be a very cool product. I mean, it's very sci-fi, but like instead of you buying the graphics card, you like just get the graphics power through like your Ethernet cable. Like it just like
just Stadia on crack kind of thing.
like basically like you know what I mean? Like I mean, it would have to be yeah, I don't know. I can't even open up
Virtual
that can.
PCIe.
Yeah, like something like just insane. But you know what I mean? Like that would just be so like instead of like you just have like a box and it's basically like a monitor and you just plug a power cord in and like a cable and then like all the
Mm.
actual computing power comes from like a data center in space or something. You know what I mean?
It's kind of honestly, it's kind of how it's. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Like everything becomes a thin client.
Yeah.
It's just a screen for the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, I mean, yes, it's definitely plausible, even, especially with the prices of this tech.
Mm-hmm.
Like, does everyone need their own GPU? Not really. Like, is your GPU being
Yeah.
used all the time? Like, I've got two in here. They're being used. Like, no, it's the one that I was on my main PC is not even really running, right? It's like just sat there.
Yeah.
Like, the other one's doing the broadcast using the MVEG chip, but other than that, it's not really doing anything. So it's always latency. This is the problem, isn't it? With these things, it's always
Yeah.
latency. The fact you got to like send it over LAN and
Yeah.
over the local. But if you had enough data centers like near enough to you, then it wouldn't be a problem.
Won't be that bad. But maybe, we'll see in the future. Maybe one day we'll be playing Tarkov 2, uh, the sequel on our boxes machines that connect to the big sky computer where we all
Yeah.
upload our consciousness into to continue playing after our true raid has finally concluded, that being our lives. Sorry, it got dark.
Well, yeah, then you wouldn't even know. Yeah, so I mean, if you were already uploaded, then there'd be no latency at all. You wouldn't even need to monitor then. You
Oh
could
my
just
god.
you could just run your instance over by the data center. You could run it in the data center. You could run the game and your brain on the same cluster.
Reserve your spot now in the Cloud
Yeah.
9 gaming where you can
Um,
experience zero latency gaming in the
you can now
afterlife.
have you can now have sub nanosecond gaming experience. Yeah, I just finished watching a animated show recommended by a friend called Pantheon, which
Oh
is
yeah.
super good. With no spoilers or anything, but that's all about like people uploading their heads and brains and
That
stuff.
is a good one. That's the one with like the
That's
girl and
that's
the
cool.
father. Yeah, that
Yeah,
one's super good.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
I
really
watched
sad
that
there wasn't
watched that
more.
like a couple of weeks ago.
I'm sad there wasn't more like to it, like episodes and
Well, maybe, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like it goes pretty wild. So
yeah.
it was cool. It was cool.
I wanted
Yeah,
more
I'm
when I
really in that
finished it.
zone
I
right now.
was
Yeah, I know, I
it
know.
was like so good.
Yeah, I'm like really in the zone right now. Like especially, and then with like Arc Raiders turning up, and it's just like all sci-fi and stuff. I'm just like, I go through these waves of sci-fi, whatever. Like that, I've already started it off again, Pantheon actually. So I've been meaning to watch it for ages. And my friend's like, "Oh, it's like really good show. You should watch it." I was like, "Oh yeah."
It was
It's
really
like okay,
good.
it's animated, which I'm like, I don't watch that. I'm not against animated stuff, but I'm not really like an anime watcher
It's not your
per se. It's not
go-to. Yeah.
not really my go-to now. I watch stuff if it's recommended, that's fine. But it just doesn't necessarily like mean anything to me. And then I was just like, this is like a really odd start. It's like
Hmm.
high school girl and like
Yeah.
it's like but the way that it's great because of the relationships, right? It's like the way it's framed. So it's really cool. I really enjoyed it actually. So yeah, that's a good one for anybody who's listening who likes sci-fi
Yeah,
stuff, anything about
seriously.
uploaded consciousness and all of that kind of thing. Pantheon is solid, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's based off a
Definitely
book
solid.
by the same name, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really?
I think so. I know it's based off a book. I'm pretty sure.
Mm.
So it makes sense that usually that stuff, not always, but makes good video media as well, if done
Yeah.
correctly. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we
If
should
I rant over.
conclude as we're a couple minutes over. Thank you always for tuning in to this week's episode, and we'll see you all next week.
Catch you later.